We haven't fun yet.
Well, I'm also trying to eat my lunch slash dinner before the work time fun fest. Yay! Good dog! Woo!
Yeah, I guess it is. We are checking out a couple of Liana Kerzner's recent videos. First up is do men get to talk about abortion?
Well, I would think so, just because they're the other half of the equation that can cause babies to happen. Oh my!
Yeah, but somehow nobody ever seems to believe that that means anything these days. So, shall we see what she has to say about it?
It's another Manly Monday, and this was not what I was originally going to talk about this week. But then the whole Supreme Court thing happened.
They're
and
pretty quick to put them in on
The whole Supreme
ticket.
Court thing happened that she didn't know about, even though it was leaked months ago.
But no. The biggest thing though, they expect the men folk to pay all the child support when it comes to the two to tango, and damn the consequences. You gotta feed them childrens. And yet they say they have no take with the abortion aspect. But yet that unfortunate baby incident with Mark Hamill's family, they wanted her to get a lifestyle abortion. Oh my. Lovely.
This went insane. And so I thought I'd make this video, not to give my opinions on things, but to talk about how to talk about it. Because I was reading some articles, and you may have seen them, which is why I decided to do this, that men need to get involved, men need to speak up, and yet, in a lot of circles, it's shut up, you don't get to have an opinion, right? And one person even directed me to tweets suggesting that pro-choice men get vasectomies. I admit I don't understand the thinking there, but I'm just putting it out there. I am aware. Okay, I am not aware of a lot of culture war stuff that happens on the internet. People think I'm more aware than I am aware about
You're
that.
just playing it up.
So
for
if you like me, at least
just
make
the
me to be
innocent women that don't know better. Bullshit.
attempt, albeit flawed, albeit personal. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/Liana K.
No, thank you.
Or buy a one-time Liana Care session for someone who can use it and can't afford it. Coffee.com/Liana K.
Hello, Java.
Some people have taken their Liana Care sessions to talk about this. If you need someone to talk to,
Nope, I'd rather give
link to
$10
sign up is in the description
$50.
box below.
Thank you very much.
Usually when I talk about topics, when I talk about video games, or when I talk about some, philosophical definition point, I tend to say this isn't that important. It's not worth getting worked up all over. This is just, essentially a curiosity. But
she's
the
like that
thing that
meme with the
makes
guy
it
with the calm
so
mask
hard.
face, and behind it he's crying rivers. No, you want people to think a certain way, lady. It ain't gonna happen.
To talk about the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade and the issue of abortion in general is
now left up to the
this
states.
is a topic that the understandable response is an incredibly emotional one. This is an emotionally charged topic, right, Cthulhu? Right. And
I sent him the link.
I wanna validate that
anything
because it's
beyond
gonna
that.
make this different. It's gonna make it different than a lot of the things I talk about. The approach I take is gonna be very different, precisely because
it was still hilarious. People thought
I don't think it's possible to even.
looks way better in thumbnails. Well, yeah. Who? Who? What? Who is
Probably
this?
the
Is
lady
that
on
what?
the screen. Yeah.
This is Liana Kerzner. Yes.
And think about this issue without feeling a lot. No matter where you come down on the whole thing, right? Um I put up on
Um, Fiona, do you have any idea how to describe for people who Liana Kerzner is?
She's a leftist grifter, kind of like the Shapiro equivalent of the regressive left.
Hmm.
Useless commentary. She should be in the same boat as him.
She's been
But
on
she doesn't.
stream with Saggy Melons several
That and
times.
she doesn't have nearly as much money as Shapiro does. Man, don't give Shapiro money either.
Uh-huh.
They're a match made in hell.
Seems like the kind of broad JDA would be obsessing over. Expected better from you, Lassie. Sorry. Oh, we cover the uncoverable.
Twitter that there is absolutely no way the left can come up with an emotional talking point that's going to overcome baby murder, right? It's just that's just the worst thing a lot of people can think of, right? And so, but on the other side, you are talking about, before y'all freak out, you are talking not just about a person's bodily autonomy. There are a lot of other things going on with this one. Women's Jewish groups are pissed right off.
Okay, that's fascinating. uh, good evening, Helmet. I hope you're doing well. Is aloha just you being friendly, or does this indicate that you're on vacation? Uh,
Yeah, for a guy who's supposedly some sort of bigger wig in some industries, it's like he's concentrating far too much on certain indie personalities. I'm like, wow, why don't you just put your nose to the grindstone and work? Really? It's not high school anymore, guys.
well, some people never leave that mindset.
It's like high school is probably the most milquetoast aspect of my life. A lot more interesting things have happened since high school.
Or saggy, such bad judgment, attacked Vic based on silly, ridiculous rumors, but defends Ezra. Yeah, that's I don't. Yeah, I don't know what. Just no discernment, no discernment at all. Last time German went on vacation. Oh, oh,
Because for everybody but the Orthodox, abortion is permitted, certainly up to a certain time. And so
a
Stop
certain
touching your
time,
hair, you
understandably,
stupid.
you know,
Ugh.
a
God, yeah.
certain time. So when would that time be?
Oh, up to live births when it comes
Yeah.
to certain states. Like California is like the baby could be coming right out of the birthing canal. It's like, okay, let's chop its head off. Woo! So yes, there are going to be some states out there that will let you do live birth murder. Woo! I mean, have you seen that documentary on that Gosling guy, like the guy who did all those late term abortions, where it's like, wow, there's baby parts in jars, lovely. Ugh.
No, I didn't see that. You can get an abortion up until 5 p.m. Uh, pro-life is equivalent to being Hitler, they say. This Hitler guy, I'll tell you. Uh, abortion, I love God. Oh, oh.
There is a sensitivity to freedom of religion, and the idea that Christian doctrine is being forced on people who are not Christian. And I'm sure atheists are probably nodding their heads too, right?
Yes, the Aztec
More liberal.
temples of atheist women wombs. Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, it's a Christian country, whether you like it or not. So if you don't like it, leave.
Yeah, our foundation is very much essentially Christian. It's not even what they would call Judeo-Christian either. It's like more hardcore Christian. That's what we are founded on. Oh my god.
Most religions are against it. Yep. Yeah, generally speaking, that's.
And also, it just comes down to the fact that a lot of people don't have a sense of personal responsibility anymore. There's plenty of ways to prevent pregnancy that don't require abortion. Hello?
Liana to be aborted is repulsive. Well, see, that's the thing. The left is always complaining about that, aren't they? About how, those evil right wingers, they keep on caring about abortions, but they're all for killing, people that are already born or whatever. Every time I go really on terms of my laptop smells like coincidence. There, people again with this creature. Yes. It's but yeah, I mean, it's like being okay with executions and killing people who are trying to break into your house and rape or murder your family or something. Like, the thing is that it's perfectly reasonable to be in favor of killing people who need to be killed, generally because of their actions. And thing about the unborn, they haven't really taken any actions. So
yeah, the baby didn't decide to be there. It takes two to tango to create the baby. And then I was even looking at some videos, like you could detect the heartbeat up to like even a month. So, baby didn't decide to be there. You guys decide to make one. Yeah.
Muslims also say abortion is required in certain circumstances up to 120 days. Now, how people back then counted 120 days, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not Muslim. But these are charged.
how they counted 100? What?
Oh
What?
God! But
The fuck?
Because after 120 days, you're definitely into your second trimester. If they
And
haven't
why would it
decided
be
by then,
required? I'm not understanding that.
now there's only a handful of circumstances where I'd be like, okay, abort the baby. That's with rape, or incest, because
Yeah.
or if it's legitimately life-threatening to the mother, like. But I've seen people. I've heard of stories of women with cancer, end up just giving birth to their kids just fine. But sometimes the doctors recommend, well, maybe you want to do abortion. And it's just like,
Sometimes I feel like the desire of doctors to abort babies is kind of like their desire to remove wisdom teeth and tonsils.
I didn't even get my top wisdom teeth removed. It was only the bottom ones to get rid of my the alignment of my teeth for when I had my braces. So
As an aside, I started reading the Warhammer 40k something Kane novels by Sandy Mitchell. Excellent fun. Okay, good.
Caphias Kane.
Okay. If women want to abort responsibility, I should be able to abort financial
There
responsibility.
you go. You'll find things will change dramatically if men can get wiggle out of doing the paternal payments. You know,
On the second novel now. Wish you would wear full face burqa.
I mean, based on the amount of pop cult in the back of her room, there, she's replacing certain things with other material possessions. Yeah,
Are we happy with her speed, or should I bump her up to 1.25 or something?
maybe 1.5. Let's get the chickbug
1.5.
level.
Okay. You believe in the theory? What? EB plus MM equals TQ. I'm sure that's some kind of a joke, but it's over my head. California is making a new abortion card. Every 10 abortions, you get a free yogurt. Oh God. Full speed, this woman. All right, let's do 1.5.
These are charged topics, right? You get into the idea of being a parent and, you know, the role of men in this stuff and we don't, you know, we aren't great at accepting and understanding when men express complicated
Probably.
feelings to begin with. And so when we, you know, get into here, it gets even messier. And that's what makes this so difficult is some people's facts may be wrong, but everyone's feelings are completely valid here. I had a really great chat with someone who grew up in a very, very religious background over the weekend. And you know, they're ambivalent about this and everything's scary for a lot of people. So, you know, that's me validating. On top of all of this, the way we talk to each other about things that are seen as political or partisan fights is terrible for emotionally charged topics. Remember that stuff I talked about last week about fighting virtues and how that performative, you know, aggression, you have to be emotionless and aggressive at the same time. I feel nothing, but right, stupid.
You people
But
don't
that
even know what
that
virtues
came in
are.
to protest language.
It's reflective in your books and comics and everything else you make. You have no idea what any kind of virtue entails. You can mimic it, but you're not good at actually having that 1-2 punch. Just like most deconstructionists.
And all talking points now are that language. And it doesn't go well when you
Everything
try to
is
have
scary for a lot of people.
conversations about this stuff if
Sorry,
you're
I can't help
in
you.
that paradigm, if you're in the fighting virtues paradigm, because this requires for everyone. But you know, men are in a unique position here because of the sensitivities, because it's seen as a women's issue. And the historical
No. It's a birthing person issue. Remember that.
Oh yes, what is a woman?
Remember?
God, I love the fact that a lot of these factions are now starting to combat each other because they're like, but no uterus, no opinion. But what about you trans exclusionary whatever people towards the transies? It's gonna go good.
Yeah, it was interesting watching Hard Bastard last night or whenever, and is watching Sam Cedar's crew, and you know, just stumbling all over themselves trying to get the language right. Birth people that can. Oh God, let them fight.
Yeah, but I have also been trying to tweak my microphone. Am I coming through decent?
A little bit quiet. the moment.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I'm like, "Ugh, wait, here, maybe if I turn it this way, no, maybe if I
Yeah.
turn it that way, this is slightly better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need to get a better microphone. Just period.
Good evening.
Mixed messaging. And I want to start there. I want to, in my opinion,
Oh my God. Oh boy. Here we go. Dear diary, I had my first abortion. I had the doctor remove my last testicle. But for some reason, it started cloning itself and making a second me. It's about to get Highlander in here. Lee. uh, yeah, I realized something today watching Liam's stream. My Liam accent doesn't work because or Australian accent, whatever, doesn't work very well because I don't know what to mispronounce. Like if I was gonna read something that said Steinbrecht dead, yes. I think he said he was going uh, shopping or something, and he'd be back as quickly as he could. But there was a whole lot of noise coming over his microphone, so I guess he left it unmuted, and his family's rummaging through his shit while he's out of the house. Maybe, I don't know. So I hit the mute button on him. Have to just say everything angrier. Well, see, it's like if I was going to read something and came across the word 19, I would try to enunciate as best I could and be like 19, or whatever. But the way that Liam pronounced it was 19, I think. 19, it's like just, and it's potentially you wind up being like, what the fuck? What? I have no idea what he just said. The occasional word like that, just don't know how to mispronounce it correctly, I guess. Saw that I had a stream earlier, went to watch it, went private a few minutes in. Well, I'm sure that somebody grabbed a copy. He's been leaving them up. I was surprised. A whole bunch of his recent ones. I guess he must have privated it because one of the bots that was in his chat or whatever easily manipulated him into getting salty over shit.
What was it? Actual bot, or was it like somebody just there to
I
rile him up?
don't know. I don't know whether it was or not. It's somebody as a Jules Verne person apparently posting quotes from Jules Verne.
Hey,
And
a classic that Liam will never be. Oh my.
and towards the end of his stream, it said something like, what did it say? It
I've
said
seen like
something.
a Confucius bot before.
It said something like, as a Christian, I have no obligation to be cheated or something like that, but I do have an obligation to fight for truth and justice. And he apparently stewed on that the whole time he was playing his outro song. And then he came back on and he was like, I've been cheated a lot, like just started going off on.
Hey, Liam, you created the scenarios where you cheated yourself. Just saying.
See Liam read out Hitler quotes today. No, I missed that one, I guess. Enjoyed them so much. Said he was going to pray on it. Were those Hitler quotes coming from Jules Verne? I'm not a student of Hitler, so I wouldn't actually know a Hitler quote if I came across one. LJV for that droll. Australian voice sounds like Michael Caine. Oh, he's not Australian, is he? Hitler quote, not Verne. Okay. It was from Mein Kampf. Well, there you go.
Because honestly, most times I only catch some Leem streams if he's being commentated on as well. I can't stand listening to him by himself. It's just not gonna happen.
Feminist messaging, feminist circles. There's no one big group where all feminists meet, right? There's no membership card. But the discourse, feminist debate on this has
It's
completely
funny. I thought
fucked
you
this
got
up.
revoked for being a
And
turf these days.
that's part of the problem. The rhetoric's confusing. There's a lot of very loud, very strident, this is the way messaging. Stay out, you better fight, do this, do that, right? And you can't please everyone. And then it's further complicated now by, the inclusion of trans men. And some people are immediately gonna hit the comments, angry typing. Liana mentioned trans men. Trans men exist, guys. Trans men are men. They might not be the same kind of men as you, if that's your opinion, but they are men.
There's
And
only one
fun fact: some trans men are
testosterone in actual natural born guys to a certain level, and estrogen to a certain level in natural born women. Trans guys don't exist, and even trans women don't exist. You still have the physical makeup and body parts of your original, whether you're male or female. We don't have the medical technology to legitimately switch from one to the other. Because trans men will never have the muscular angle that real men have. Because they were born women, so they're gonna be physically weaker. They're gonna still have women's lungs, a woman's heart, the remnants of a woman's reproductive system, depending on how far they went with the butchery. You could put yourself on steroids and it still wouldn't change much.
Not out about their status, and so they're in the same boat in the shut up man on certain discussions, and yet they need medical care. And that's really awkward when in places like the US where you don't have a functional system like Canada where you just go to the doctor and it's private and everybody's sitting in the same place.
Has he ever said that? Okay. Tells all general blabber. Can't fake it till they make it. Lipstick on a pig won't make it any less of a pig. Yeah.
With things like Planned Parenthood being a primary healthcare provider for so many people, it is. I admit I was a bit of an asshole about this whole thing at first when I heard the whole thing about pregnant people, and I rolled my eyes and was like, "Come on, tiny percentage, right?"
Holy crap!
I said over the weekend that the term is growing on me, and it's not because of a trans agenda or trans ideology. No, it's because there is a very real reality that to some people, the minute someone becomes pregnant, they become the carrier of a person more than a person themselves, right? There are far too many people who believe that the life that matters is the 3-week-old fetus. I mean, a lot of people don't know they're pregnant at that point, but the thing that can't live on its own is more important than the
if you
person with
to have
cognition.
Sex without a condom, that it's very highly likely you'll get preggers. Huh. These people. If you have sex without the condom, there's a good chance you'll get pregnant.
And that is the reason a lot of people get so emotional about this, and why chastising someone for an emotional response, you're being emotional, like criticizing them or looking down on them for having an emotional response here is the wrong thing to do. And I very rarely put a moral spin on these sort of things. Tactical error, yes, but in this case, it's actually wrong. And it doesn't matter who it is.
Why is it that so many of the women who complain so loudly about the prospect of not being able to have abortions are frankly so unattractive that it's hard to believe that they could ever get pregnant in the first place?
Probably plenty of desperate guys would want to just pity sleep with them.
Ugh.
But that's usually the bugman variety. Huh, funny how that works.
Yes. Because again, if people feel very strongly that a fetus is a baby, and for the record, I don't, up until up until cognition at 24 weeks. But that's besides the point. I say that only to say, people who believe differently than I do believe it sincerely, and they believe that is a defenseless, innocent person who needs protection. And that's valid. That's what makes it so hard, because then
Yep, they need protection from people like you.
people who are in a position that they may become pregnant through not great circumstances, through abuse or coercion, go, why aren't I a person anymore? We are touching on the idea of personhood here and who matters and who doesn't. And so if you get a strong reaction, stop. And people really appreciate in this somebody seeming to give a damn about their perspective. I actually had people who are pro-life thank me on Twitter for pointing out that their views are sincere, and you can't emotionally overpower that view, right? And these are people that think I'm a baby murderer, right? Not that I've, not
Just
that I have had an abortion,
ourselves
but
with
I am
Liana
pro-choice.
here.
So, those little moments of humanity. It's not civility. It's humanity. They matter a lot. Personally, I think this is stuff in a perfect world, in an ideal world, we would do all the time. We would validate the feelings of the person we're talking to as a strong foundation for different views, right?
You guys
the
are
meeting ground
interested
that's
in
solid.
having a
So when
meeting
you get in
ground
there, there's an element
with anybody with other views than yourselves.
Mm.
You exclude people that have different views from you. You have to toe the regressive left line. But even then, they eat each other. But I'm not gonna say that our side is blind to that either. They'll purity spiral just as much in a lot of cases too.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of right-leaning stuff doesn't get as much prominence, because the right-leaning grifters like Shapiro want to protect their little plot of online land, because they think like, oh, the rest of them are going to be interlopers and destroy my audience, So we got our own purity spirals of a different sort. It's like freaking ridiculous.
trust. And that trust gets very shaky on this subject because someone says something, doesn't realize why they've hit an emotional button, has a reaction, right? Especially if it's a person that isn't as in touch with their feelings or has trouble
fuck being
reading
in touch with your
social
feelings.
cues.
Really,
One poor
you
person.
guys use that as an excuse all the time. It's like, no, there has to be a balance. You can understand where the emotions are coming from, but you have to actually use the other part of your brain too.
Person I like very much kept getting into trouble on Twitter, and I was trying to go easy because I know they're on the spectrum, and I just felt terrible about it because they're on the spectrum, and so they were, especially in text, reading
You mean
nuance,
retarded?
reading cues is so difficult.
Yes, people on the spectrum won't be able to pick up certain social cues. Oh no. Especially on the internet, where you can't actually have the inflection of your voice carry over with the comments you make. So everybody thinks it's in Microsoft Sam.
And it's very difficult for people who are more logical, the thinkers instead of the feelers, to know how to navigate this language. And I say that as a thinker who had to learn to be more of a feeler, because I because I read the research and it's like, oh, factoring in emotions leads to better decision making. Okay, so I'm gonna learn feelings to be more logical, right?
We'll have to ask him that if and when he ever shows up, because he's stepped out. Figured he'd be back by now. I mean, it's been a while. But anyway, this is Liana Kerzner.
I
She
feel
is-
more retarded for listening to any of her talking points.
She's Canadian and a ginger and Jewish.
Oh no, it's a triple. Ah.
Yes. Ugh.
If somebody gives you a very strong reaction, just let them. Do your best to not take it personally, because it
But
is
guess
personal.
Most
But it's
of the
deeply personal for
regressive
everyone
left
involved,
Take it
right?
personally all the time to a level 11. Oh my God, Satan's asshole.
Yep. Join us on Critical Blast tonight. No, thank you. Too much feelering all over the place. Yeah, there's a lot of that. But hey, she said that everybody's feelings are valid, so
Except for
Like
all
I said,
us
everybody's-
right-leaning wrong thinkers. Our feelings are never validated because we're evil.
Having such a strong reaction here. Harsh things are going to be said. Heated rhetoric's going to happen. If you can, just let people express their feelings. You don't have to, you don't have to agree with them internally, but let them talk, right? Validating someone and agreeing with them aren't the same thing at all. It was interesting because there were 3 Canadians like me. I was one of them on Twitter, and we were talking about this. And we had a really good discussion about
shut everybody down. Oh my! So yeah, you're not even going that far. Validation? Ha! I'm not going to validate you people either. There you go. Turnabout is fair play.
Well, I think this, well, I think this, well, I think this, and we all didn't agree, and we were having all these thought experiments, but, because we're not at each other's throats on the regular about this up here, there could be a discussion, because we were all like, I see where you're coming from, I don't see it the same way. Like, we had this whole, it was interesting, and everybody's
we're
position
all AIDS
made
commies
sense.
up north.
Nobody had the same position. That's a really good conversation, right? So getting to the TLDR, okay? And this is kind of backward, but I really wanted to talk about that emotional component, because this will not work unless you have the emotional component. No guarantee it will work anyway. Some people feel very strongly
others emotionally
this.
outside their immediate
but
circle.
If somebody says
The internet
men
doesn't
can't have an
usually
opinion on this,
have
men are
those
allowed to
kinds
have an
of
opinion on this,
connections.
that's
You
just
can be
not
friendly with people,
possible,
but you won't
right?
develop the
I
same
didn't
kind of
talk
connection
about men's
you
issues
do
on this
with
channel for
people
years and years and years, because I'm like, not
neighborhood.
my business. It was by request I finally started doing it. That didn't mean I didn't have an opinion on subjects. It just means I didn't speak with any authority, right? Not a man. No one can stop you from having a thought in your mind, right? What is reasonable to ask is that, for anybody who has never had to think about what they would do if they became pregnant, your opinions and the way you express those opinions should be informed by that. And by that, I mean, these are decisions you will never have to directly make. You will never be responsible for. This isn't a one-to-one comparison, but I see it as similar to military service, which is primarily overwhelmingly male, and we are losing the understanding that it's not okay to ask a veteran if they ever killed anybody in combat. If they want to tell you, okay, but that's not right to ask because you're putting them on the spot. You have never been in that position. You don't understand the ground
Funny
truths,
how
the
they all
field truths
apply
that they
this
went
to
through.
people
And
they
so
really disagree with, huh?
Okay, is she seriously suggesting that aborting a child is the same thing as being a combat veteran who killed an enemy soldier?
If she is, that's a pretty much a big false equivalency. Yes.
Holy shit.
Man, we gotta arm all them babies with guns the instant they come out of the womb. They're gonna be dangerous, yo.
so it's a very uncomfortable spot. Um, that's sort of the point of empathy I can give. And some people are like, yeah, but people don't do that anymore.
Stop
Yeah, it's
picking
wrong.
your
We should be more
nose.
considerate about stuff like that, which is why we need to talk about it
And
so people
scratching
know.
your face
you know,
and adjusting your
um,
glasses.
You know,
My goodness,
I'm old enough that there were,
I hate this.
Korean War veterans. My stepfather was a Korean War veteran, and so we were raised to handle these things.
Oh yes, I'm going to use false
a certain way,
equivalency with
and I
other
really do
people's
think that as
experiences.
terrible as the
You know,
wars were, I
most
think that
veterans, they
the
don't usually brag.
compassion
The
that
ones
stuff like that
do are over bloviating their service.
make us have the sensitivity. We're losing it, and it was good.
No, we're actually far too sensitive.
I was hoping the whole COVID thing
Twitter
would bring that back. It hasn't yet. Maybe there's still time. But yeah, if you have no frame of reference for an experience, at the top, I was like, I don't know, I'm not Muslim. Same, right?
Wait.
That doesn't mean I've never been in a mosque. That doesn't mean I don't know any.
Because you guys seem to use Christianity as a punching bag all the time, but no, not the Muzzy religion. Never the Muzzies. I'm trying to give you guys my best caffeine-fueled rage. Wink. But no, I gotta have to leave for work in a little bit. But still, this lady is insane. Pronouns in bio, opinion immediately discarded.
Well, next time somebody decides to do the Crusades or whatever, it's not necessary to go very far afield. We can just stay home and have them here.
Yep. And the Crusades will probably be that mythical civil war that the regressive left wants, where it's like, you know what? They're going to probably lose that war. Just saying.
She says she can't stop someone from having a thought in their minds. Factually speaking, murder can stop a thought from being in someone's mind. Just saying. True. Yeah. Accurate. Well, if Fiona is going to leave, and apparently she left. I don't know. That's interesting. It says devices not connected. There we go. What was that?
I'm trying to see if I can fix the microphone a little bit, but I'm probably going to have to get a new pair of headphones with the mic set. So, because the headphones are still rocking, but for whatever reason, the mic is just like, meow.
You say Civil War 3 times in a mirror, a midwit and a beanie will appear behind you. Yes. Dim fool. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, Fiona is gonna leave soon, and Einbrecht still the fuck isn't back. But God, how long does it take you to go to town?
Well, you still have him like regular muted. It was the sound still coming from his room.
Yeah, it sounded like somebody was rustling around in there.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I guess he isn't back yet.
I don't hear anything. There we go.
Evening.
Thank you for
Hello.
joining us.
Welcome to the land of insanity. Population Earth.
Give me your worst, so that I may give you my best.
Anything about Islam, that doesn't mean I don't know how to buy halal meat. Just I don't know what that experience is like
All
from the
right,
inside.
that's enough. I'm getting the
Right?
pistol.
It's the same. When you wade into a discussion that is and this is where I'm very careful because I think this is the thing that goes the other way that men who really, really want to be fathers and understand that, that's an indirect process.
That
This is a
means they don't want you to
sensitive thing for
murder
them.
the baby. Right
And
from
I
the get
think because the
go.
emotional reactions for women, in
Most
most
of
women,
the people
because the emotional
who
reactions are so open.
believe the baby is a baby right at conception will not sleep with harridans like you, to quote the shogunate there.
Hmm.
Release the hose.
Keep the legs closed, thought.
Thought be gone.
Overwhelming, that gets a little lost. And this is why I think it is very, very important to talk about this stuff. This is why I think these sorts of I always feel weird going like I am a representative of women because I do not consider myself that at all. I am not typical of
She's
women.
barely a woman.
One of the conversations I had when the woman I was talking to
Wait,
is
but what
very
is a
typical. She has
woman?
female brain. She has female
Regressive left
perspective.
doesn't
And
know that.
I said she was saying things that are very, very different from where I come at things. And I'm like, I listen when you tell me about this experience because it's not mine. This is what this is what being a real girl is like. Okay, cool. That matters. I used to be an asshole about it because I didn't understand it as much. It's like, oh well, that's just conforming and that's just construction. And no, I can't help it any more than I can, right? I mean,
She used to be an
this is not
asshole, but now
normal.
she's a pussy.
Hmm. You said real girl. Is that like a real doll or?
Well, it's more like in her case, it's more like Pinocchio, where she wishes she were a real boy.
Ah. Oh. Foreigners make Greg's and sausage rolls sound like this mythical thing. I admit I am intrigued.
Fuck Jabba. Is it me, or is it her, or is her nose getting redder as she goes?
During the video, she's been messing with it, hadn't she? So it's
Well, yeah. She's constantly rubbing her nose, rubbing the bridge of her thing where her glasses are at. Like, yeah, sometimes I'll adjust my glasses, but that's why I won't put myself on video because I probably have some annoying idiosyncrasies that would show up on film too. It's like, ugh. And
Well, that's sign of cocaine use.
Hmm.
Constantly messing with the nose.
My whole thing here, it's cool, it's awesome, but most people do not have a plush Cthulhu they talk to about things, right? Cthulhu, right?
Oh God, pop cult.
But that's
Yeah, most people, except for Doomcock.
really all you can do. If this is a sensitive thing for you, and I know there's a sensitivity about not being able to speak, to say your piece. I understand there's a frustration there. Try to understand that everyone is feeling that to an extent on this stuff. Everyone is walking around afraid to say the wrong thing and get their head bitten off, except me, because I getting canceled 3 times.
I'm a special woman.
And I get people don't understand this,
You
and I
gotta
get
listen to
misunderstood all the
me.
time
I'm
because
a
of this.
woman.
Like,
that's basically all
you
it
get
is. It's like,
eventually so
because
tired
a
of being
lot of
afraid
times
and so
women
tired
aren't
of
canceled nearly
feeling
as hard as the guys are. Like, they'll
Hmm.
go after guys 10 times more than they'll go after women's. I see it online all the time. Ugh. But as for me, I gotta go get ready for work. So everybody, you have a good day.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Mewling fearsome Canadians.
Can we have a eulogy for Einbrecht real quick
Sure,
before he gets back?
sure.
Here lies Einbrecht. He took him as well as he gave him. He could do 6 gay dudes in one shot. All right.
Rifled, that eventually you just, you take the hits and you get bombarded and you get bombarded and you get bombarded. And, it's like toughening up your
Cornish
knuckles in
ice
martial arts.
cream?
Eventually, like, yeah, it hurts, but you don't feel it the same way anymore. It's like, well, what can they do? Cancel me again? 4th time's a charm, Maybe I'll end up in Hufflepuff this time instead of Slytherin 3 times. But that's not invalidating the fear that people have. That's just me explaining why I can sometimes seem out of touch with that fear. And I don't want to say, well, I don't like the whole strength thing. I don't like the, well, it's made me stronger. And
She's not
I'm
out
more
of touch.
evolved.
She's
I mean,
barely
sounds like a fucking
touched.
Pokemon.
There's a difference.
I don't.
She's also doing. It's not the same thing that Jesse does, but it's a similar hair thing. Just won't leave it alone. Ugh. And
Shut up. Greg's is horrible, Jabba.
Java's upset about something. I'm not sure. Who is this leaky nose? All right, Liana Kerzner. Ma Potter. She's a Harry Potter nerd. Oh, for fuck's sake, I can almost smell her now.
Now? I can smell the cat piss through my headset, and that's not even possible. Why does her armpit look like it smells like fucking ricotta cheese left out in the hot sun for a week?
Oof. I could have done without that visual, but
I think it's about that at all.
Probably
I think
accurate.
everybody has a meaningful experience. Everybody's experience can inform something. And, we can clash sometimes. We can rub each other the wrong way. Things can sting. That can be good. My best friends in the whole world.
I think if you
we talk
ever
about
touch Liana, not only will it sting, it'll also possibly burn, and you'll probably end up with some type of venereal disease that is uncurable.
Well, so you watch all these crazy nerd women got the hots. Now, I mean, there are some pictures of Liana that are not that bad. Like the one we used for the thumbnail here. It's like she used to be kind of decent looking. She let herself go a bit.
Oh, that reminds me, the Georgia Guidestones got blown up this morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
Damn globalists.
Not really overly familiar with them, but
Well, it's basically like if you've seen seen the picture of the 10 Commandments written on like a slab, it's basically that same idea for the globalist commandments.
Yeah,
Where it's
something to do with limiting the population to 500 million or something. And it's like, what?
Yeah, it's what was it? There, I think like number 2 or 3 on that list is like a new unifying language or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit. Jewish heretic. Get them all down. Yeah. Apparently, it didn't get rid of all of them, but I think there was one of them that was like reduced to rubble, right?
I'll be right back.
It's all fake and gay. Yeah.
really tough stuff. I mean, you should see the conversations Mary Jest and I have. We'll be game designing. Next thing you know, we're talking about something, and we disagree. It's great friends. It's not about never fighting. It's not about agreeing 100% on things. It's about knowing how to disagree and always remembering that the other person's coming at something from a good place. This is not somebody out to get you. This is someone who just something's happening.
You don't know that. Sometimes they're coming from a bad place. The fuck?
Today. And it's very, very, very important that if you want to maintain the conversation, if you want to maintain the communication, that you actively...
In general terms, I do actually support the idea of talking things out if possible. But let's be clear. There are some fucking people
I am back.
that there's no talking to them. Like there's no communicating with some of these crazy people. This thought has lewds run away.
Yes, lewds, run. Get out of here.
Oh my god, it's Prime.
Oh my god, it's Castle.
How fat are we today?
Next time you're going to be EFAPing Professor Geek and his big... Is that Al or Big AI?
Big gay Al.
It could be either one, to be honest.
I don't know. Is Professor Geek even still around? He still owes me a fucking comic book, which I guess I'm never getting.
Ooh, apparently I'm supposed to be having a thunderstorm today.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's 109 outside right now for me.
It's probably similar to that here.
It's saying it's 92 right now.
I am 290, Jabba. I am 290. I am on my 21st day of non-soda.
He switched it for meth.
No, it's not meth. It's crack.
You stuck to the design and didn't do this crazy stream of consciousness. Know-it-all bullshit. You might be more successful. Professor Geek is still around. Going to bar him for that book, Alassi? No, I'm just going to remember to never fucking support him again. That's my basic
What book
philosophy,
did you?
I guess.
What book did?
Tales from the Stacks.
Ah,
I don't believe
Well,
we ever fulfilled the second chance campaign for that or whatever. It's been, I don't know, a couple of years now? Something like that.
well, hell, I got some old, was it like Journey into Mysteries and shit if you want them.
Still 290? Not good enough.
Fuck Greg's.
Yeah, Jabba's probably about 1,000 pounds after eating Greg's every day.
He does love his wiener.
Mm-hmm. Pigs in a blanket are good, man.
Well, yeah.
Is that what you call women at night?
Is that what you call your girlfriend?
Yes. I call her a lot worse things.
Craig will save your life.
We've been together 4 years. I've earned that right. God damn it.
It's the 5th year you have to get through.
Well, it's like the relationship's like dog years. Every year feels like 7, and my girlfriend's a dog.
So what you're saying is your girlfriend's old?
Guys, this may be the last time I ever talk to you.
Pigs in a blanket is sausage wrapped in bacon.
I think the American version.
Yeah,
makes
not
it
in
perfect
America. In America, it's just bread.
Yeah, it's like a sausage link with like a crescent roll wrapped around it.
Yeah. Oh, by its real name, Brian.
Fine, an uncircumcised Jewish sausage roll inside a kosher bagel.
You actively validate, you actively give respect, and you actively give little little indicators of sincere appreciation that you know this is hard to talk about. Sometimes it is going to spill over. Sometimes it is going to clash. I have a few pro-lifers I talk to fairly
Sausage
regularly.
roll.
I actually said to one of them on the day the judgment came down, he contacted me about something else, but I said to him, look, I'm sure you're having a happy and blessed day. I don't want to ruin that for you right now. Because if I started even trying, I was just going to be, rah, and that's not right. He's not on the Supreme Court. He's entitled to his opinion. He's not, okay, he votes. He's actually American. I'm not. But that's, it isn't like we haven't, butted heads on things in the past. But I learned from those butting
Did you
heads,
see that Count Dankula
there are
start pretending to be a Supreme Court justice?
No, I did not.
He went on Twitter and started saying things like, members of the itty bitty titty committee are now considered terrorists.
Wait, what?
Count Dankula for I think a few days after Roe versus Wade got turned over, he started going on Twitter pretending to be a justice. And
I heard that. What about the itty titty bitty? What?
He said.
He's not coming back no matter how many times you play that.
He said the group, the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, is now a domestic terrorist organization.
Okay, so is the group like a bunch of A-tit women? I'm confused. Like, what kind of community are we talking about here?
Bro, I don't know. Go to Twitter. I don't fucking know.
Well, fucking hey, man. You got me curious now. What the fuck? You mean a fucking cliffhanger, you son of a bitch?
All I know is that he was getting a bunch of death threats from
Of course.
Well, what was it? Because he showed screenshots, and the very last one that he showed was somebody messaging him going, "I got baited, didn't I?"
Well, in other news, Amber Heard's going to probably be extradited to Australia because of her dogs. Yeah, the FBI is working in coalition with the Australian government for their division of agriculture and bio something. It's one of the.
If Brett was here, I'd ask him to explain why the fuck it is that Canadians have any interest in Supreme Court rulings in the United States anyway.
Oh, it's because Canadians want to be Americans. Yeah.
They're snow Mexicans.
Yeah.
Furbacks.
Not to mention, Trudeau let slip today this week that he's going to try to take their guns, and they're all up in arms against that right now.
Well, hold on. You said Amber Heard's getting extra. Is going to be extra?
Might be because the FBI is working alongside with the Australian government for their law. Apparently, she broke what it's the law that states where you cannot bring an animal that has another genetic disease without it being checked through customs first. And back in 2015, when her Johnny went there, she basically brought her dogs in illegally. And she basically said that she was not the one who did it. It was Johnny. And then after that, she basically lied on the Virginia court docket, which caused her to have perjury in the Australian government. And they've had a multi-year investigation over this. So we might see her go to jail, which the maximum prison sentence for this type of Australian felony is 14 years. And she might be an example of because of it.
Well, that's interesting. It looks like Liam's going to start having himself a conjugal visit days down at the prison now. I'm pretty sure he's insane enough to do that.
Well, I'm just curious because if the Australian government is that so, the Crown, I should say, the Crown is that so damn hardened with the FBI, what's taking so long about the allegations against JDA and all the rest of us?
Because they don't really feel like dealing with a fat Australian.
Or it's just because he has no merit and they're not going to give it to him. That's probably what it is.
I have no idea how someone can hold them. And yet, I do believe, because this guy is a very, very kind, legitimately caring person. At first I thought it was bullshit, but it's not. He's actually like a very sweet person. And so, you know, I don't understand why he thinks some of the things he does. But there are too few people in this world that we can say with relative certainty don't want to hurt people and do mean well. That I do think that if you meet a person like that you do feel like you can trust, and they don't, you know, there aren't red flags, that you establish that rapport, a single issue isn't worth never speaking to them again. And again, that's based on behavior, not opinions. So keep that in mind both ways, right? Hopefully you found this helpful, even though it was, like I said, really vague and no guarantees here. People are going to blow on this one. It's just a raw wound for everybody. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron, patreon.com/Liana K. Let's see if YouTube demonetizes this for being a controversial subject, right? Or you can buy a one-time Liana Care session for someone who can use it, who can't afford it. Coffee.com/Liana K. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
You're not welcome. Yeah.
Can we have her aborted?
I already asked.
Okay, that was. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Who the fuck's being beaten down by a ghetto black man?
That's Chinese.
Oh. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm in China.
Oh, God. What are you doing? At Jussie Smollett in the Chinese foreign land?
No, I'm here to say China's asshole.
Like the Hong Kong Keys did.
Okay, so are we wanting to look for this thing?
What are we looking for?
The best of Marcus Dankula?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's entirely up to you. Why don't you go down that rabbit hole?
Is it going to get my channel in trouble?
We'll save it for Twitch.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I would save that for Twitch because
Okay.
What you're going to do is you're going to basically have it to where the algorithm picks that up, and anybody who's looking into this or catches this is going to, yeah.
Well, on that note, everybody subscribe to Alasi Affairs on Twitch.
Yes.
Let's see what our good friend Jesse Milestone's been doing.
If it's not getting arrested or tased, I don't want it. I'm not interested.
Yes, I know. Okay,
How
just
Batman makes you an asshole.
Wait, what?
It's another Manly Monday, and I'm going to try something here, because I've noticed a pattern with Manly Monday that people who are not traditionally masculine
That
tend
she
to
has
love
no
Manly
man
Monday.
and it's Monday.
People who clearly consume a lot of manosphere content get triggered by Manly Monday, and I'm good with that. I think that means I'm on the right track, because if you like manosphere content, if you like that form of masculinity, if you
then
like
you're
that messaging, there is plenty of that out there. Manly Mondays is designed to give an alternative to things.
You're not
like
a man,
pop
so
culture
why do
addict,
you have an
which
opinion on
is
what a man
masculinity
should be?
for people who don't fit in those manosphere boxes?
Then again,
That
you
is
might be
bullshit,
a man.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry about
if you
that.
like manosphere content, right, Cthulhu, watch manosphere content. That's what it's there for. This is for other people. Don't be an asshole. If you like this content, help support this channel. Become a monthly patron, patreon.com/Liana K, or buy a one-time Liana Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/Liana K. Now, being an asshole, that's what this video is about. And it's how Batman makes you an asshole. This is something I really struggle. You can tell, guys, you can tell I love my DC comics. I love my Marvel comics too. The wrong way, Captain America Shield. But, you know, I got a Batman Beyond that back there. You can tell I'm a pretty hardcore, like, Batman family fan. I loved the No Man's Land arc in comics, but after that, I started falling away from Batman. And I think it's part because the stories got more and more reductive. But I also got older and realized that emulating Batman, thinking like Batman, was making me accidentally an asshole. And so I started going like Superman, Captain America. You know, I got the Spectre back there. Spectre, highly underrated character. If I could write one DC character, it'd be the fucking Spectre. I love the fucking Spectre.
I actually agree with her with that.
I started
Spectre is
weaning myself
underrated.
off Batman because I realized it was making me an asshole. Why? because Batman's paranoid. Oh, but he's this, he's that. No. Batman, fundamentals of Batman. He's the world's greatest detective, not the world's greatest paranoid recluse. And I'm hoping that the Robert Pattinson Batman films are starting him as the world's greatest paranoid recluse. And I hope that the fact he's a shitty detective in that movie is the beginning of an arc of how he becomes the world's greatest detective. I'm hoping for that. That's my hope, okay? Not my cope, my hope.
You hoping a retard actually
Here's the difference between Batman and Superman, okay?
Oh boy.
Batman spends his entire time trying to outsmart other people, not solving crimes, trying to predict contingencies. He has such a negative view of humanity when written in this particular asshole Batman kind of way. He has such a negative view of humanity that he does things that actually preemptively hurt other people because he's trying to head off what he predicts will happen that is bad. There was an arc in comics where I think it was a reimagined OMAC project that Batman had designed basically as a check against the other members of the Justice League. And that got loose and caused a lot of destruction. And when you create contingency weapons, those weapons tend to get used eventually, because when the temptation to use a weapon is there, the minute
I don't
fear
remember the
creeps
CIA
in,
using their own weapons
people
against
use it.
themselves.
Now, compare this to...
Why did we stop? Oh.
Superman.
Technical
I love
difficulties,
Superman.
boys.
Oh my god, the finale of Superman and Lois this season. It
Wait,
was
she
starting to
actually
lag,
talked
that
slower than
storyline,
this? Oh,
but the
fuck.
finale was awesome. Okay, it was really good. And here's the thing about Superman. Superman, the reason I love Superman is sometimes willing to be a chump so that he is not an asshole. And this is why I want a good Superman movie. Not that bullshit, grim, dark stuff. A real Superman movie where Superman is a good guy. Not this fucking Superman turns evil Injustice stuff. Injustice is fine. It's an ultimate timeline. Injustice only works when we have a Superman who is not a fucking asshole. Okay? A core to Superman is that he gives people the benefit of the doubt to a fault. And he does this knowing some people will exploit that. Some people will not achieve what he's giving them through benefit of doubt. Some people will morally fail. Superman is strong enough and confident enough, again, to a fault, that his worldview is you give people a chance. When they betray you, you fix it. Batman is stop people from betraying you by never letting anybody in, shoving people away, and generally being an asshole. And unfortunately, that asshole attitude has so infected everything that Superman isn't even allowed to say truth, justice in the American way anymore.
He hasn't said that for 40 years.
That was the one thing I was like, oh, kind of sad, that they actually use the more modern DC Comics Superman slogan, truth, justice, and hope for a better tomorrow. And the reason it made me sad, not because it's like, all right, cool, they want Superman to be for everybody, not just Americans, but the American way. Let's be originalist for a moment. The American way, if you read the founding documents of America, it is all based on a more perfect union, which is a hope for a better tomorrow. America is no longer the embodiment of a hope for a better tomorrow because it has been consumed by Batman's style.
Those documents you speak of are just protection of rights from governments basically being able to take over the people.
To masculine
That's
construct.
not a better
Batman
tomorrow. That's basically saying we hold the fucking guns, start
Superman
it.
Is.
We're
it's a
gonna get
different
you for
masculine
treason.
ideal, right? I got a Plastic Man next to the Spectre, next to the Watcher for a reason. All
no,
this
Delta,
is together
he is
for a reason. I don't want
relaunching
people next to
his
each other
book.
who might fight.
He closed it out last year due to
but it's also
complications.
DC Comics back in the day when they still wrote stories for adults. And that's a reductive generalization. DC is still doing some good stuff in like the digital only comics that have a smaller budget. It's their main things. They want to make money that have so shit the bed. But with Plastic Man, they did an arc where it turned out Plastic Man had a kid. And when he found out, he kind of freaked out and ran away from it. And there was a really good period in DC Comics where they were putting Batman and Plastic Man in scenes together, which worked because there were studies in opposites, and Batman is always best when there is someone to play off of, so he can be all, I am Batman,
Negative
asshole.
on that.
Somebody else, I mean, whether it's Plastic Man or Damian Wayne or Superman or Robin, who is
You'll
a
have to
brighter
ask Slider.
spark. Nightwing legitimately enjoys the acrobatic parts of the job, whereas Batman's always, I hate everything because I'm very serious because I'm so smart. World's greatest asshole detective, right? Damian Wayne was great because he punctured that. I don't use him that way well anymore. But, and obviously we're talking about post Dark Knight Batman. Batman was very different in the Silver Age. Don't say I didn't say that, people. I said it right now. We're talking post Dark Knight Frank Miller Batman. I'm the goddamn Batman. And that's the problem. But going back to the Plastic Man story, there was a scene where Batman said he was really disappointed I guess at the moment he was Eel O'Brien, but in Plastic Man, because Batman always thought that Plastic Man would be a really great dad because he was fun and outwardly happy, and you find out that that's a bit of a front. That Plastic Man is he's sort of a clown on the outside but crying on the inside kind of thing, and it was a great moment because it was sort of a character moment for Batman where it was like, well, if you think that's good, Batman, why don't you do it? Which is good writing. People are not simple. Just because people aspire to be something doesn't mean they have the bravery to actually do it. And both Plastic Man's reaction to that fair criticism from Batman, but also Batman kind of it was a complication for Batman at that moment. And the thing is, what I took underneath it is that Batman was expressing disappointment in Plastic Man for a fear that was crippling both of them emotionally. And that was this fear of being vulnerable, this fear of making a mistake, this fear of being wrong or not strong. And, Batman's the last person in the world who should express disappointment in someone else for running away from emotional connections. And I think that was the point. I think that was good writing, not bad writing, because of the blind spot in the character. Because we had spent years before, that might have been Morrison's run on the Justice League. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I tend not to remember who wrote what, because it all bleeds, which is fine. It's comics, right? But, Frank Miller Batman is defined by shoving people away, by being verbally abusive to Alfred, but just get out whenever he has a feeling, right? And that makes him an asshole. But that's a truth about, certainly there is this Venn diagram, right, between this modern beefcake masculinity embodied by characters like I'm the goddamn Batman and being an asshole. And, Dennis Leary wrote a whole song about it that a lot of people got wrong, right? The song, I'm an asshole, yo, yo, yo. It is a self-aware song about being an asshole. And I remember when it came out back in the day, a lot of people missed the point. And that's how you could tell they were assholes because, it's lines like, sometimes I park in handicapped spaces while handicapped people make handicapped faces. Maybe I shouldn't be singing this song, ranting and raving and carrying on. Maybe they're right when they tell me I'm wrong. Nah. I mean, the thing Dennis Leary did in his prime was embodied an asshole to deconstruct why so many men feel the need to be an asshole. It was funny
No,
because the
never heard of
behaviors
that,
he was
Java.
displaying were very common. Unfortunately, that's a tough balancing act. Like, I love Dennis Leary's coffee flavored coffee stand up.
Hmm.
An asshole is right sometimes. Sometimes you need an asshole to point out something where everybody else is too nice to say. I have asshole tendencies myself, but that's the difference. I'm aware of those asshole tendencies. I can turn them on and off. It is a tool, not a piece of my identity. And too often, people make things that are tools, people make things that are performances part of their identities. And when someone is saying, I'm an asshole, I don't care, I'm an asshole, well, you do care. You do care very much. And the mark of an asshole is people too afraid to admit they care. And that's unfortunately, I'm the goddamn
I
Batman.
can't tell if she's
in a
talking about
nutshell.
Batman or Testify.
And this doesn't mean it's bad to like Batman. Okay. If you like Silver Age Batman, like some of the stuff Neil Adams did and stuff like that, that's awesome. You know, if you like Batman, the animated series, or the Justice League Batman, or Brave and the Bold Batman, those Batmans aren't assholes. You know, even the Robert Pattinson Batman, because it's the beginning, right? Um, I had real issues with one of the scenes in the Batman. And I'm hoping that again, it's the beginning of an arc. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I struggle with the idea of the sort of the most intense, the climactic intensity moment of the film, Batman shooting himself full of drugs and almost killing a guy. I hope that was intended to be a mistake. Because if it wasn't, we're back into asshole Batman. There is a difference between recognizing you're afraid of things and validating that and denying you're afraid of anything. And so your fear actually controls you. And there are so many people that embody that Dennis Leary line. Maybe they're right when they tell me I'm wrong. Nah. You see that aggrievement, right? Guys who and it's not all guys. You got the Marjorie Taylor Greens and Boberts of the world, right? These women exist. There are some in Canada as well, but let's face it, most of my audience is American. That's why I use American references. That's the only reason. If I say Candice Bergen, you think, what, the actress? No, there's a politician up here named Candice Bergen. So, you know, it is not exclusively a male thing to be so afraid of being wrong that you'll walk around actually being wrong instead of admitting you're wrong. But it is something sort of tied to this particular I'm the goddamn Batman style masculine ideal, right? At some point that stopped being a flaw in the writing of Batman and started being a defining characteristic, which is really unfortunate because people, when they can't admit their fears, end up embodying the very thing they're afraid that they are, right? If you are terrified of your anger, you end up all bottled up and you end up exploding, which means to the rest of the world, you are the very thing you're terrified
Einbrick
of.
would
You
answer,
walk
but he's not here
around
right now.
in a state of unhealthy emotion because you're so afraid of being angry. Instead of going, okay, I'm angry. I'm going to admit I'm angry, so I put that anger in the right place. I'm going to admit I'm angry so I can figure out what I'm really angry at so I don't take it out on the wrong people. And there's too many people walking around now who use words like annoyed and irritated because they can't admit even to themselves that they are frightened, angry, or feel violated, right? Because those are weakness, right? No, they're not. No, they're not. And I don't know when it became not okay to be angry. This is when manosphere types complain about the feminization of men, they're on to something with the demonization of anger, but they get the construct wrong. It's not a feminization of men. It's a false stoicism. It's a true logician is never angry. And you know, keep in mind that idea of being completely logical, the false dichotomy is men are logical, women are emotional, right? So the demonization of anger is not a feminization of masculinity. It's a denial that it is a push into a different artificial masculine construct. It's what people think Sherlock Holmes is until you read the fucking books. And if you read the books, Sherlock Holmes actually might be bipolar, might just be somebody who is chronically depressed. He has, there's one case where he actually fakes an episode, like fakes a breakdown so he can sneak in and steal a piece of evidence. But his tendency towards melancholy, as they called it, was so well known he could do that. Sherlock Holmes was
Or maybe
not
the author
the
just
fake
decided to make a
post-war
character that you can
stoicism
embody yourself in and make your own
that a lot of
determination how
people
he
think
is.
of a crime fighter, a problem solver. Sherlock Holmes's method was that He takes a story somebody has told him. He takes the information that they've told him and pictures himself as if he were there. Sherlock Holmes' entire deal is one of empathy, which is why fuck the BBC Sherlock for making him a high-functioning sociopath. Sociopaths struggle with that very form of empathy. It's just wrong. Or they're fan fictioning not Sherlock. Is if they want to tell a story about a sociopathic detective, go do it, but that's not Sherlock Holmes. You violate one of the defining characteristics of the character, right? So
Why is she going off about black
afraid of being
penises
wrong.
and Sherlock
Or
Holmes?
a true intellectual, it's not that they're never wrong, and this is a big problem with the structure of academia that we deal with. People make their name on a particular theory, and then they defend it when they shouldn't, because if they admit they're wrong, they lose status. That's wrong. Someone makes their name on a theory. They should be rewarded if they then realize they were wrong about everything there, because that's true intellectual pursuit. It is understanding your ego enough to overcome your ego, and being able to admit you're wrong is a big part of that. This is why I'm aware of my asshole tendencies, so I can keep them in check. Because
Clip
being
that.
terrified of being wrong, or being terrified of being seen as being wrong, is connected to a terror that you will appear weak or vulnerable. So a terror of not being strong. And that's why I go back to Superman as another ideal that is worthy. That's a Thor thing, but
that was one of those things,
right? I mean, Thor comes at the same idea in a different way. Sometimes you need Batman. Sometimes you need the asshole that happens to be right. But a lot of the time, Superman is the better
Einbrecht, you're
ideal
not dead.
to
Holy
follow.
shit.
I could go on a whole tangent about how monotheism kind of wrecked the idea that you can have different masculine ideals at different times. And because, in Judaism, we have 3 patriarchs and 4 matriarchs. So we have different examples of people who have characteristics that we aspire to, they have flaws as well. But you get into this idea of this one ideal archetype for humanity. The only way to God is through me. We start losing that nuance, right? That doesn't mean we can't get it back. That doesn't mean elements of the Christian framework aren't useful. It's just a problem when you can only be one ideal at any given time. Because Superman is a much better leader than Batman is. Because Superman...
Okay.
oh, good lord. Sorry, terribly sorry about that. I got back and immediately had demands made of me as soon as I sat down.
I'm going to make a demand. If you don't get in the United States, we're going to nuke Canada.
Oh, fuck, it's been that bad, has it?
She's been running her mouth about how Batman is too much of an asshole and that Superman should be a better asshole. And then I'm just like, you're an asshole. And then she's like, I am an asshole. And then I'm like, there's too much assholes in this fucking stream.
And then she goes on to talk about some BBCs and Sherlock.
She went into a fucking tangent about Sherlock Holmes because she says that the characterization is done too wrong. I don't fucking know.
First off, he's still an addict. He's just a different kind of addict. Like, it's not like Sherlock Holmes was a moral paragon in the fucking Arthur Conan Doyle books either, though.
Yeah, but
he was an opiate addict in the books.
Yes, but the author also made it to where you could also make your own determination upon how Sherlock is perceived.
Yeah.
That's the thing about most of these books. When you read them, it's like, sure, you're given a generalization of how the character is, but at the end of the day, it's what your mind comes up with the character and what he looks like and how the nuances are and shit.
Yeah. Well, this insanity that Batman's too much of an asshole. Batman's a moral absolutist. It's why he doesn't kill. It's why Batman gets things done in the shadows. He is not a leader. No, he never has been a leader, dude, man. That's exactly it. Not once. Never. Because remember, Batman wasn't based off like a team leader character. Batman is based off the Shadow, who is a character that is essentially a a heroic character with what Fiona would refer to as a cathartic motivation. Because Shadow doesn't just run around killing people. Shadow would set up traps for the villains, and if they would redeem themselves, they wouldn't die. But if they would use their powers for misdeeds, they would end up dying through their usage of their powers because he had set traps for them. Like, he essentially gives them one last opportunity to right themselves, but they never do. They always choose to be the corrupt bags of shit that they are, and they end up dying as a direct result. And then there were more than a couple occasions where the Shadow just murks people outright, which, you know, it happens. But Batman's sort of based off that archetype, but he's a more... At first, Batman was basically the Shadow in a bat costume. But then he stopped using guns somewhere along the way. I couldn't tell you where it was. It's been too long since I read the old stuff. And he became sort of more of a stoic detective rather than a yeah, I don't know, it's weird. They people like Kerzner, from my experience, they often have this obsession with, oh, you're too male, you're too masculine, therefore we have to beat you down, we need to put more feminine traits in you so you're less toxic.
Okay, so when are we going to go after her now?
Oh, don't worry, she'll get hers.
I'm just here for the LOL Cal and the laughs, man.
She's functionally retarded, I suspect, like most of these weirdo fucking lefties who think they're not left. Oh, I'm just not left enough for the left. And it's like, no, that's not what it is at all. You're one of these quote unquote enlightened centrists, TM, that fucking like to pretend you're not fully on the left, but you are at the end of the day. You just don't want to admit it. Because it's an either or proposition. You cannot say you're not on the left and then simultaneously be like, yeah, but feminism wasn't all bad. Either feminism was all bad or it wasn't. Like, there is no good came out of feminism. None. Repeal the 19th, by the way.
Okay, I really don't want to rewind it and repeat any of her video, but unless I'm mistaken, she just complained about monotheism destroying the concept of multiple valid forms of masculinity or something.
No, that there's never been multiple valid forms of masculinity.
Okay, but she said that, unless I'm very much mistaken, and then proceeded to basically talk about how it was the fault of Christianity and Jesus, and started talking about how, there were like 4 different versions of masculinity in Judaism. And it's like, you dumb bitch. It's like, Judaism is monotheistic.
This notion that Christianity destroyed masculinity is absurd, and I don't know where it comes from. Masculinity is always on a downtrend, and it's not because of... This is... Okay. I know people don't like to compare human beings to animals, but we are animals at the end of the day. The Mouse Utopia experiments accurately predict how mammals in a society function, period. We are no different. We're just smarter than the rats. That's all. That's it. We have opposable thumbs, we look different, and we're smarter than they are. That's all there is to it. We're still animals at the end of the day. Animals with immortal souls made by a fucking impossible creator that we can never hope to understand, but we are, at the end of the day, animals. And animals are subject to their whims. Very few people understand how to exercise their free will. Everybody's got it, but very few people understand how to exercise it. And when you look at the Mouse Utopia experiments and how the rats deteriorate and how they separate in all these subgroups, and then you get these weirdo groups who like self-harm, and then these groups that are obsessed with grooming, and then they don't mate, and then they start mating with each other, and as the population continues to swell and expand even more, they separate out even further into smaller subgroups, and the interests of the rats become more and more extreme. That's what's happening to society right now because there's too many people. That's what always happens to a society when there are too many people.
God damn it, we live in a society.
Yeah, I know. Sargon was right about something for once. Fuck me.
Fuck, I don't want to be in this society no more.
No, neither do I. And he's saying, I'm not an animal. Yeah. We are all JDA. We are smarter. We have opposable thumbs. Tells us. It's terrible. I love it. And then, yes. It was just one of those things, right, Andy? Like we're very complex animals, but we're animals all the same. Yeah. I mean, I don't much care for Sargon these days. Not since he participated in that fucking Le Skeptic takedown of what was his name? Harmful Opinions on behalf of Candid.
Trent Reznor had it right. Fuck me like an animal.
Fuck me like an animal, indeed. Yeah, it's Sargon definitely put out some solid content back in the day, but I don't much care for him these days.
You know who I really like? Bering.
Yeah, Bering was one of the only people who had an honest, open conversation with Harmful Opinions during that whole Candid shit. So he's the only one. Him and Teal Deer were pretty much the only members of the Skep shit community I didn't turn on because they actually stood up for Harmful. And yes, Tree Goblin, I know, we're great apes. We're most closely related to the bonobo chimps, though. Speaking from a behavioral standpoint.
Hell, some of us never even evolved.
I mean, the rate at which some dudes masturbate leads me to believe that's probably true.
Oh, so what ape did Liam Gray evolve from? Does anybody know?
Yes, yeah, no, that's exactly it, Andy. Like at the end of the day, we are complex. Yes, we have more complex brains than they do, but we still have fight or flight, just like any other animal. That's exactly it. I voted Sargon in the 2016 election. Great days. I mean, that's worth it alone for the meme vote, right? Tree Goblin, like that's funny shit. When Sargon ran, I thought that was hilarious. I didn't think for a second he would win, but I thought the possibility that he could win was more funny than anything.
Now, see, Liam didn't evolve from a great ape. He was fucked by a great ape.
Liam Gray is what happens when a great ape fucks a koala, and then the offspring is born with AIDS and chlamydia. Yeah, it was a funny time, Tree Goblin. I was when Sargon and was it Dankula? Was Dankula one of his running mates in that party? Or did he just throw in his support for the party? I can't remember. But that was some funny shit. Like that was a funny campaign.
Ooh, Einbrecht, I just got word of this one from my girlfriend. We may be having pork buns tonight.
Oh dear. Well, that sounds fun. Are you gonna like?
I'm gonna pork her in the bun.
Oh, well, that's different.
And unlike Batman, there's this whole escalation theory in Batman comics that basically the existence of Batman is the reason there's all these supervillains running all over the place because there's something about Batman that encourages supervillainy. I struggle with that concept. I'm not sure I buy it, but it is a major part of Batman comics. Whereas Superman, when Superman's written in a way that's cool, the whole thing behind Superman is that he inspires others to be everyday superheroes. He inspires other people to do what they can to make the world better, that hope for a better tomorrow.
That's what it
right?
was.
He
Yeah, that's
inspires
right,
people,
Chico.
other people to embody truth, justice, and hope for a better tomorrow in their own way. And the only way you can do that is to give people benefit of the doubt, to not be so obsessed with preventing people from doing things, from screwing people over, from trying to be a predictive algorithm that prevents suffering.
Okay, first off, no, that's not
healing
what.
and actually making the world.
I'm not even a Batman fan. Like, I actively dislike Bruce Wayne as a character. I don't like modern Bruce Wayne in any capacity. But I'm going to defend the character. He's not an algorithm who's trying to fucking... I understand she's being metaphorical here, but he's not an algorithm who seeks to prevent suffering. It's more complicated than that.
He's suffering incarnate.
Well, it's pretty accurate, actually.
Because he was never meant to be happy. He was always meant to be in a constant fight.
That's precisely it. He chose the path of turning his hatred and rage and frustration with his situation into motivation. He's the archetypal sort of vigilante.
He's a violent motivational speaker.
He's the archetypal vigilante hero, right? Like, but minus the killing, because he has his no killing policy. So essentially what it is he has to have more creative ways of dealing with criminals. So he chooses to create his devices to delay them, to trap them. He chooses to hone his intellect. He chooses to hone his body so that if it does come down to a fight, he can win against someone barring magic or superpowers. Like, he's a peak human without a super soldier serum, essentially. Like, if you took away Captain America's super soldier serum, Bruce Wayne would win that fight 10 times out of 10. And yes, I know they're from two separate universes. I'm just saying, like, if you took away Steve Rogers' like intense speed and all that shit, Batman's training would win out like 10 times out of 10. But it's one of those things. Like, he's a very intelligent character, and his whole thing is, it sounds like she's conflating Bruce's character with Reed Richards' character, because Reed Richards does this shit. Reed Richards tries to like create ways of predicting criminality and all that shit, but Bruce is much more interested in mitigating current criminality. Like, Bruce is more interested in capturing criminals or stopping people from becoming criminals if he sees them on the path to becoming criminals.
He's interested in the reform aspect.
Yes. Whereas Reed Richards is interested in, or at least modern Reed Richards is interested in essentially using algorithmic mathematical prediction tables to basically find and inter potential criminals. I don't think the current Reed Richards is Reed Richards at all, for the record. Like, I don't like what they've done to the Fantastic Four. I don't like that they're no longer a happy family. I genuinely hate everything about modern comics, to be entirely honest.
Better. If you suppress, and this is why I think the escalation theory in Batman deserves some consideration. When you're just suppressing everything, when you think you're making the world better by going up and beating people up, well, people don't terribly like getting beat up, so they beat back. And that's why, well, you beat back, well, I beat back, well, I beat you, blah, 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 escalation, right? Whereas Superman, what's the most iconic thing with Superman? They did this in the Wonder Woman movie too, right? It's not him punching somebody. It's him standing there, confident, while bullets are bouncing off, and he's like, that tickles, right? Superman tanks. Superman has
this is such a fucking retarded argument.
And not necessarily retaliate.
Bullets don't bounce off Bruce Wayne. He's a fucking normal person with an extremely high IQ. The only hope he has of bullets bouncing off him is when he's in the Batmobile or wearing his fucking power armor.
Bruce Wayne is
Otherwise-
Stephen Hawking with legs.
No, pretty much. Like, this is so fucking stupid. Their power sets are totally fucking different. Superman's literally bulletproof. Tank shells do next to nothing to him. They've shot him with tank shells before, and it was like minorly irritated. It is so fucking stupid. She's so ignorant of reality.
I think she
Fuck.
has Batman confused with Iron Man because Iron Man can deflect a tank shot.
Like, it just... Batman has to be crafty. He doesn't have the invincibility that Superman does. He can't just fucking tank the hits, you dumb whore. What the hell is this nonsense? Regress harder with the stories if you want quality. Yeah, no, I agree. Dude, like, completely. I agree. It's one of the reasons why the way I choose to tell stories about characters are contained to that character's sort of arc. If a story doesn't fit within a character's arc, I either don't tell the story for that character, or I tell the story for that character in a way that the character will come out of it in a way where they've either learned something, but fundamentally they remain the same character, or they've learned nothing and they essentially remain the same character. Because doing stories where characters change fundamentally loses the fan base for that character 90% of the time. Like, I don't mind well-rounded characters. I think a well-rounded character is perfectly fine in a story, but not every character can be well-rounded, because that's not how human beings are. That's not congruent with reality. Well-rounded human beings are far less common. Most people hyper-specialize in life. It's just a weird propensity we have.
If Superman punches a guy in the face who's just a regular goon for some criminal, he will kill them, right?
Yep.
He can't just do that. And when you recognize your strengths instead of being terrified of showing weaknesses, you know when you have to pull punches because you are stronger than other people in that field. You'll bowl them
Batman
over. You
has
will really
never
hurt
been
them.
terrified of showing weakness.
There is a responsibility that comes
The
with strength.
entire
And this is one of the
point-
things I had to learn. And you guys taught me.
She's so stupid. Holy fuck, man. Like, people this dumb always make me angry. I don't know what it is. People this dumb always make me angry. It's not about not projecting weakness. It's about projecting fear. That's the point of Batman. That's why he that's why he wore the fucking costume. It's why he made it the way he made it. He made it to channel his fear into his enemies. It's about making them fear the consequence of their actions. It's just...
Einbrecht, next time you have your stream, let's talk comic books.
I agree. I'd like to talk comic books with someone, just because it's been... I don't know, it's been a long time.
Well, I will talk comic books with you.
Batman is gay. He runs around in spandex. Like, I don't disagree, Jabba. I don't like the character at all. I'm just defending him because she's getting it wrong. Simon Leopi says, Solomon Kane, for instance, definitely a very specialized and fanatical person, yet absolutely... No, agreed. And again, he's a hero with a cathartic motivation, as Fiona would say. But he's a good character. He's well designed. And exactly, like, he's a Puritan executioner, essentially. He's a witch hunter, functionally speaking. But he doesn't kill people arbitrarily. He kills them when they've done horrific things like murder rape, torture, evil things. He doesn't just kill someone because he can. Dude, man, Superman and Batman are two different examples of excellence. Yeah, that's exactly it, dude, man. Like, this is one of the reasons why I don't like myopic thinkers like Liana Kerzner. They think that everything must be viewed through the lens of femininity, and it does not. It should not be. This is fundamentally why, yeah, her not understanding this is indicative. Yeah, that's exactly it, dude, man. This is why I don't generally have female friends. They're very myopic thinkers. They're very narrow-minded individuals. And for all the ignorant shit I say about other people, I say that shit because I know it will get a rise out of them, not because they're deeply held beliefs. They're not beliefs I hold at all. I actually don't dislike the Jews as a rule. Do you know why? Because I don't care about judging an entire group of people for the actions of a minority of that community. But it's funny to use Jew jokes on Jews because they get super offended about them. Like, it always amazes me when this shit turns up, and it's like, what are you doing?
That's the thing, is white Jews just don't matter. That's the whole thing. White people just don't matter.
It's funny that she says that too, because it's not that white Jews don't matter. Arabic Jews actually don't mind white Jews as a rule. It's the white progressive Jews that they don't like. Just so we're being clear here. Get over it, Jew, says Jabba. Yeah, it always baffles.
We're like,
Fellas, I have to go.
I
The
was
maintenance
just gonna
man
do the
is going to
Jesse
be
sound,
here.
and you played the clip. That's fantastic. It's always been amazing to me whenever this fucking nonsense turns up and these people just complain endlessly about, oh well, these two clearly divergent characters are not enough alike. I don't understand why they're not alike. It's because they're, as Dude Man said it, and I choose to phrase it the exact same way. Superman and Batman are two different examples of excellence. Excellence doesn't come in one fucking form. If that were true, then the only form of excellence that would ever exist among males would be peak physicality. But that's not true. Men with peak physicality often respect men with peak mental fitness because of the simple fact that the dude that is super smart and knows how to use those smarts to open doors that wouldn't be opened otherwise, that's mastery, that's skill, and men respond to that shit. Oh no. Hello, Pepe Silva. Nice to see you. Democrats and progressives only like atheistic and non-practicing Jews. They hate practicing religious Jews. I don't care either way as long as I get my Hebrew national hot dogs. Yes! The best wieners. Oh man. There's some good hot dogs out there, I have to say. Have you heard that Elasmat is in the hospital? He was in a terrible helicopter accident. Oh no.
Helicopter, helicopter. Paracofer, paracofer.
That song is, yes, different archetype. Exactly, Roshi Strider. That's exactly it. And this is why I hate saying this because it sounds like I dislike females as a rule. I do not. But this is why I generally don't like having female friends. They think like this. They don't understand that there are other ways to do things.
This community taught
yeah.
me when I first started doing YouTube. I was so used to being perceived as small, perceived as weak, that I thought I had to fight everything. And one of the bits of feedback, criticisms that I thought was fair is basically this wasn't how it was said. But the message I got, and it worked, was look, you have a position of power here. You're the person this community is built around. Show you can take a punch without retaliating. That's what we want from a leader. And that was fair. and that was good. That was good feedback. Yeah, it was critical, but it was right. You know, I wasn't an asshole there. Maybe they're right when they tell me I'm wrong. I didn't go nah. And that's, you know, Superman will admit mistakes and fix them. Batman goes out of his way to prevent mistakes, and then it's sort of, well, no, it wasn't me, it was this, oh no, smart, you know, the OMAC thing, it all got out, and everybody had to clean up his fucking mess because it was bigger than one person.
Okay, first
he was
off,
so
the
interested in the
OMAC
arms
thing
race to
was
prevent
not Batman's fault, as I recall. The OMAC thing got out because the writer was retarded. Like, this is the problem with people who are stupid who write characters like Batman. They always write the character like he's retarded in the moment so that the whole storyline can happen, and I hate that shit. Batman wouldn't have fucking done the whole OMAC thing. Let's be fucking clear here. But he had to do the OMAC nonsense in order for this particular writer's fucking storyline to happen. And it's just like, don't do that. Don't make characters do something that is completely out of character just so you can tell a story. If you're going to tell that story, make it a what if. Don't make it a mainline story. I hate that shit. Dude, man, says she was saying different archetypes was good for men before. Now she's saying archetypes she doesn't like. But that's exactly it. Like, this is again why I fucking don't like females talking about male-dominated spaces in any capacity. They always do this shit. They always tone police it. They always do that. I'm not saying this, but, and then they immediately go into saying the very thing they just claimed they weren't saying. Pepe Silva, the best things always come out of tragic situations. Because of the tragic helicopter accident, Kobe Bryant won't ball hog anymore. Jeez. Ah, that's a dark one. Holy shit. Oh, rough.
something that he doesn't focus enough on inspiring better. And so again, this doesn't mean you can't like Batman. This doesn't mean Batman isn't cool in a lot of ways.
Batman's not a
But
leader,
just make
though.
sure
Like,
you understand what is a strength and what is a
the leader
weakness
of the
in Batman.
Justice League
So
was
you don't accidentally
all of
act like
them.
an asshole by being the goddamn Batman. Look at some other characters, different ideals of masculinity, and instead of dismissing them as blue Boy Scouts, see that there's a place for that. If you want a world that's less scary, if you want a world where you're not constantly trying to fend off people, stabbing you in the back, screwing you over, if you're sick of all this toxicity, the world needs more Superman and less Batman. And this is why I work in superhero archetypes. Ready? Okay. Hopefully some of you enjoyed this video. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it because they deal with more than their fair share of assholes. Coffee.com/LeannaK. Thanks for watching. And if you want to be an asshole about this, you have been warned. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, dude, sometimes you need to be the asshole. That's precisely it. But women never see it that way. They always like, can't we just be nice about this? Let's negotiate. You guys, oh my God, it's not what you're saying to me that bothers me. It's the tone of voice. You're so angry right now. Can you see why I'm single? Like, I just don't like that conversation. Like, it's just, I fucking can't do it, man. Honestly, Superman is gay. What grown man runs around with his underwear outside his pants? When Superman was created in the early 1900s, this made even less sense. DC was full of homoerotic. I mean, I wish I could disagree there, but there's a lot of homoeroticism in DC shit. There's some of it in Marvel as well, though, in all fairness. I'm going to make my own media corporation called Greg's and Garglers. I know what that's a reference. Yes, tone police, exactly, dude, man. Eggs on men fighting, right? Everybody loves Cthulhu. Elassi's back from the Twitch and Odyssey. Is YouTube now exclusively for covering middle-aged thoughts like Liana? Well, it's more that we cover Liana over here and Ray Bear over here and who was the other one? Jesse, because despite them being retards, they don't flag other people's channels like Liam and the other people we cover.
Yeah.
So whenever we cover Liam, we do it over on Twitch, then we'll upload it on Odyssey. Oh, I should say, we do the show on Twitch, and then Elassie uploads it to Odyssey. because that gives me credit where I'm not doing anything, and I don't like doing. That's a bad habit. I say we, but it's not really a collective. It's a lousy show. I'm just here because I like hanging out with these weirdos. I think they're great people. And I like chat.
I am not a weirdo. I'm a retard. Thank you.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm probably the retarded weirdo in the room, in all fairness.
Yes.
On some level, I feel bad for Liana Kerzner because I don't think she means to be this retarded. I think she just is. It's a quirk of her genetics. I haven't read the new Spawn stuff. I'll have to check it out. I do like the new Moon Knight comic. As long as it doesn't have anything to do with Bendis, I might be okay with it. Hail Liam, yes, indeed, hail Liam. I'm Breck, don't be ridiculous. We're all here for you, not allowed. No one should ever admit that.
It's a fair point, though.
Elassie is Elassie's a dry sell on his jokes, but I fucking love his jokes. He made a fantastic joke the other day about gold, and it was. I'm still laughing about it a day later. Pepe Silva says, "Don't get me wrong, we're all a little homo. I'm about 10% homo. You're about 6% homo. Liam Gray is about 83% homo. Jesse Milestone is about 142% homo, but she can sword fight, so she's trans." Jeez.
All right. Well, you did finally turn up, but I'm going to go ahead and play what we're going to play in honor of your death.
Ah, yes.
Cool.
Classic crab riff. Yeah, man. Good times.
You know, there's a new one of those, right?
Yes, there's been several versions of the crab rave. People have even been, in some cases, slapping memes into them to like replace some of the crabs with various, shall we say, black Supreme Court justices.
Oh.
The best gold comes from the little pouches around them. That was part of the joke, Mr. Castle.
And when the time comes, y'all can play a video like that for me.
Yes.
Put some text over it saying Elassie is DED.
Yes, we will honor you by making terrible jokes. I promise you that much. We'll miss you, but there's nothing we can do about that once you're already gone.
So, is there anything else for us to cover, keeping in mind that we're on YouTube?
Not really. Unless you want to go into why the hell people are gay on the internet.
Which people in particular are we talking about?
All of them.
Yes, Elassie can indeed dance. Oh man. Oh, there's some funny shit going on the internet, but so much of it we can't talk about on here because it's all about people who flag channels.
Well, Iber, you saw what Camelot's new video was, didn't you?
No, not yet. I got the notification that it went out, and then I went to watch it, and I was unsubscribed.
Yeah, the end of YouTube. Essentially, what he's saying is that well, one, he's outing everybody who's on Discords basically into gay ops and shit like that, which he's not wrong.
Yeah.
But he's saying that there's really no way to combat false flagging like Liam Gray and shit like that, because every time you try to get correspondence, you're never talking to someone who's real. You're getting a bot, or at the end of the day, when you do finally get somebody, you're not even talking to someone who gives a fucking damn.
No, exactly it. And I believe Martina is currently in the process of fulfilling Lady Alchemy. I know she had her proof copy the last time I talked to her, like a month and 2 months ago, was it? Where we were in voice with Martina and Sandy. Might have been longer than that. I don't know, but she's in the process of fulfilling. Was my understanding, which good for her. Like, I'm happy she finally got there. Yeah, Java, that's correct. She had a lawsuit with the former artist. I don't remember his name.
That the percentage in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman.
Yes. Yeah. Barren woman I'd like to. Oh. Jeez, that's dark. I like that, though. I like messed up jokes, though. I always have.
Oh, yeah, I saw this going around on Twitter.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do you have a meme? Or do you mean the one
We're
that's on screen?
looking at a feminist holding up a pie graph about her choices, and it's over abortion.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just one of these things, like, women are like, well, men don't get to have an opinion on abortion. All right. Well, then women don't get to have any opinions on men's issues.
Exactly. Like Liana Kerzner talking about our maledom. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, the really funny thing about women being like, men don't get to have an opinion on abortions, wasn't it 7 old white male Supreme Court justices who decided Roe v. Wade? So if they don't get to have an opinion, that means Roe v. Wade was already invalid from the start, bitches. You can thank Nick Rekieta for that shiner.
No, Nick Rekieta is battling the trans community now.
Oh, is he?
God. The
Yeah,
trannies
apparently a tranny basically made a comment that how can men be fantasizing over women with fake tits when men who get fake tits are the exact same thing? Nick Rekieta then replies to the comment that newsflash, and I know this is going to be sudden to you, but at least those are real tits still at the end of the day. Because, even though you're inflating the fun bags, they're still connected to a woman.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like Mr. Rackets. He's pretty no bullshit, and he actually has a couple trannies in his Discord, but they're less crazy than most trannies. So there's that. He's generally one of those people who he doesn't have a problem with others until they fucking say retarded shit, and then it gets fun. it's always entertaining to watch someone super chat Nick and get super ass mad in chat as he excoriates them for their dumb take. True abortion charts is Pepe Silva. 32% personal choice, 20% medical reasons, 8% incest, 40% because they look like Liam. Oh, no. Oh, that's a dark one, too. I like that. It's terrible.
By the way, anybody catch Liam Gray's stream this afternoon?
Yes.
No. I saw Lassie and the others making jokes about it in Discord, but I didn't catch it myself.
Yeah, I didn't catch it myself either. That's why I'm asking. I was just wondering what the gist of it was. Was he spurgy or was he fucking just ranting again?
I don't know, Lassie. Do you happen to remember?
There really wasn't much of any real import during most of the stream. He went for about 30 minutes. Towards the end, he claimed that there was some famous artist that was about to retire that wants to work with him, but he's not sure he can afford the guy. Let's see.
He definitely can't afford the guy.
Yeah, his quote is on it was something like, "If I were to use his name, people would easily be able to figure out who he is."
No shit. Using a person's name makes them identifiable. What a fucking brilliant deduction, Sherlock.
Oh.
Good lord.
And then somebody.
Tree Goblin says, "Lol, Liam does wear diapers." I mean, is that new lore? That's
Tree Goblin said it was JV or somebody.
It was sadly moaning. Oh no, I was a woman. I may support abortion for incest, but since I'm a male, my rape dad couldn't get me pregnant anyways. So it's a wash for me, a dirty wash. Rough. Yes, that.
Anyway, apparently pretending to quote Jules Verne, but was actually quoting Mein Kampf.
Whoa!
And Liam was eating it up. He was thrilled.
Wow. That's just about as bad as when he put that fake mustache on the front of his nose.
Bro, and then had no idea why people were angry with him.
What is you talking about? It's just a mustache. I look like Charlie Chaplin. Come on.
I say this as a gigantic asshole for the record. When you did that Hitler bit, Liam, I was laughing hysterically. It was funny. I missed that Liam. The Liam that just leaned into jokes. This fucking weird Liam who spurgs out about everything, boring. Fun to laugh at, but ultimately boring.
Yes. Thought Hitler had some great ideas. And what was the quote? The last quote was something like, as a Christian, I have no obligation to be cheated, but I do have an obligation to fight for truth and justice. And I guess that was a Hitler quote as well. I don't know. Anyway, that got Liam thinking, and apparently he was stewing the entire time he was playing his outro song. So when it got done, he came back on and he was like, "I've been cheated a lot," and started ranting.
Oh no.
Coming from Conquest Comics, Struggle My.
And then when he finally said goodbye, he said, "Leave your thoughts and comments in the description."
Oh no. I sent that same screenshot that I posted in Discord to a buddy of mine who is sadly legitimately on the autism spectrum. And I was like, this sure seems like a normal way to hire people. Not sus at all. Now, where's my block button? And he responds to me with how to block people. In DMs. And I start laughing and I go, bro, it was sarcasm. And he was like, oh, it was the sarcasm. God damn it. He's such an intelligent person, but he does not understand jokes, which is part of the course. It's like, oh God, I love you, man.
And Liam did alter his standard refrain of people used to tell him just to lay down and die. He changed that to we told him to lay down and get fucked harder.
Lay down and get fucked harder. So he's changed the narrative again.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him to do that.
Yeah, I would never tell him to lay down and get fucked harder because that's degeneracy. Men should not get. See,
I don't understand. Where the fuck did he get that from? Why is he always talking about sex?
Because he, like my former friend Ryan, likes to They like the bum cuddles. Let's put it that way.
Liam, let me explain something to you, buddy. You need to go see a sex therapist. You have a problem. You need to stop the porn. I know it's hard, but if you do it, you might be a better person.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't think he want? Oh, you don't think he's going to be a better person?
No. No. That's not.
Oh, you think he's going to be sexually frustrated and he can't get it off anymore? And
Yeah, he's gonna go at some point. Liam's gonna go hard into the sexual degeneracy. It's gonna take
don't say that, please. I'm praying that he doesn't do something stupid. I really hope he doesn't do something that stupid.
Dude wants to stop trying to get therapists to commit suicide for him.
Hey, man. The Australians need to curb their own people, man.
Also, Trigo, oh yeah, Liam was trolled with Hitler quotes. He thought they were great ideas. That's phenomenal. Pepe Silva says Liam has trouble with naming conventions. His Conquest Comics is owned by a shell corporation called Final Solutions Enterprises, which is controlled by a subsidiary called Auschwitz Publishing. I would have gone with Dachau. I would have gone with Dachau Publishing personally, but I'm also a fucking degenerate. Everybody Loves Cthulhu says Prime might be the only one that thinks Liam's biggest problem is a porn addiction. Yeah.
Well, maybe he needs to talk to Liana. Doesn't she offer counseling services?
Counseling services, and by that she does the old. I'm sure she does the old digital rub and tug for you. Oh, come on. We all know she does ASMR shit. Let's be fucking real here.
Oh, God. Stop.
Don't.
Don't.
I put the thought in your head. It's never going to go away now. It's never going to go away now.
She's probably got the dual ear things, too. Oh, God.
You mean like the fucking the cat ear socks that Quaff likes to wear on stream?
I don't know anymore. By the way, why did Quaff change his fucking desk?
Quaff changed his desks? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. He moved it to the other side, so no, you can no longer see the closet.
What? Oh, come on, Quaff. I want to see the closet.
I could tell because the window used to be on his left and now it's on his right.
Oh, what a degenerate. Trying to hide the closet from us. He doesn't want us to see in the closet. What's in the closet, Quaff?
It's me. You hear that sound? That's my closet next to me. I can go to his other side, go through it, you know?
I see. It's like Narnia. You cross into the other world.
Yeah, you just go 3,000 miles away.
Quaff is always eating. Especially when it involves dogs or
Okay,
cats.
okay, hang on. I'm trying to lose weight, quit soda, and he's eating. Is there a conundrum here?
Once asked Liam what his favorite comedy was. I told him I enjoyed Everybody Loves Raymond. He said his favorites are Everybody Loves Dachau and Game of Ovens. Game of Ovens? That's terrible. Oh, God. Phenomenal. Fucking ridiculous jokes. I love it. Yeah, it's Liam's been a little on the more controlled Spurg outrage side lately, but that just means that he's holding it in for longer, which means we're gonna get
Yeah, it definitely sounded like he was trying to work himself into an explosion today.
yeah. It sounds to me like something's taken the wind out of his sails, like he's losing hope. Because Liam's, let's be clear, Liam's at his spurgiest when he believes in himself. So it sounds to me like Liam's currently going through the depressed Liam stage of the cycle. which is where he spurgs out the least. But it's not like we've studied Liam actively or anything.
No, it's not like I've been literally a Liamologist for 2 years now. 2 years. I want my life back, Liam. You fucked it all up.
Yes, he even broke your hand at work.
He actually did say something about Wonder Island.
I always hated everybody. I mean, I didn't mind it. I didn't find it particularly funny.
There's an awful lot of sitcoms that I've never gotten into.
My grandmother and my mother loved the hell out of it, so I ended up watching it when I took care of them. But yeah, I wasn't terribly fond. Well, you had the occasional laugh out of me, but for the most part,
I thought it was Homelander.
Stormfront. The one he identifies most was Homelander, but yes, the joke is that Stormfront is an actual neo-Nazi.
Mm.
What motivates Liam? Depends on what we're trying to motivate him to do. If it's to spurg out, we need to feed him more trannies and opium. Wonder Island will still be a great book to use as shit paper. Yes. Actually, I don't know, man. It looks like it's going to be pretty heavily saturated with ink. You might not want to. It might not like scoop out the poop particularly well. You might not want to use it at all. Embrick was trying to say that Liam's been edging lately with spurging. He was trying not to be sexual. Frasier is the only sitcom I've watched all the way. Oh, dude, Frasier is great though. Kelsey Grammer and what is the guy that plays Niall's name? David something. Is it David? I don't know, man. But two brothers who are like put on these airs that they're extremely intelligent people, but they're super socially awkward, and they tell other people how to correctly live their lives. It's great. The level of neuroticism in their lives and how they interact with each other, how they interact with their father, how they interact with girlfriends, how they interact with the maid, how they interact even with the dog, Eddie. It's great. It's funny as hell. David Hyde Pierce. There we go. Linkovich and Marsupial to the fucking rescue. Yeah. That show was so good, man. Is still good. I wouldn't touch a reboot if they did one because I don't. Modern reboots are just never good. Let's be clear.
Modern, just about everything's no good.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anyway, he said he talked briefly. Mr. Wonderful asked him if he'd launched Wonder Island on Kickstarter yet, and said if not, why not? And Liam said that he's producing some kind of anime intro for it or something. And so has to wait till that's done, which apparently is going to take like 6 months.
What the fuck?
Dude Man says they would gay it up even more. Probably. They would probably make the characters overtly gay instead of latently homosexual, which is way funnier in my opinion. Like, them being latently homosexual, like, it's not totally apparent that they're gay, but there's that, like, suspicion that, hey, these guys full on, like, Nancy boys, what's going on here? I don't understand. They appear to be into women, but...
Oh, boy. Dear Diary, I was just thinking the other day about what motivates me. And it was hard, but I finally thought of it. I am motivated by young members of my community and baby oil on them. Liam.
Baby oil and Astroglide. But yes. His two favorite tools of the trade. The trade being gay butt sex.
What is this anime you speak of?
Anna May, yeah. Shifter says, will we see Marvel comic artist Mark Brooks shilling his new exciting LP Robo Showed? Will Mark Brooks could sell a book featuring a dead man's penis? Maybe. We'll see. That drama is kind of funny because if Mark Brooks does, in fact, try to trademark it without attempting to use it in commerce, he's, at least in Canada, I can't say for U.S. citizens because I don't know how your trademark laws work, but if he were to do that in Canada, it would be illegal. He could, I can't remember what the terminology is, but he could get in serious trouble in Canada for that. I imagine it's probably similar in the U.S. I believe you actually have to have the intention of using it in commerce, and you have to have made a good faith attempt to use it in commerce before you can trademark something. But I could be wrong about that. Like I said, I don't know that much about the copyright / trademark laws in the U.S., only in my home country of Kanakistan, because, oh boy, I live in a shithole.
Oh, dear.
Poppy blood and black sausage. Oh, no. Narc Crooks is chasing Financial's clout. Poor guy. Narc Crooks. That's a good nickname. Yeah, I maintain that Brooks is trying to get close to the iconic comics guy because there's no other reason to hang out with Vicky. Like, none
Let's see.
whatsoever.
The new cooler Will Smith. First, they came for the blacks, and I did not speak up. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak up. Then they stopped coming for people because all our problems went away. This joke gets past the censor bots. Oh my god.
Fucking that shit is why I like Ricada. Like, legitimately, he doesn't freak out about dark jokes. He laughs at them. He just goes, "Damn, son!" Like, it's just, I miss the days when people on the internet weren't afraid of jokes. Those days were so good, man. Now we get all these weak-ass weirdos who are like, "What? You called me a tranny? How dare you? That's hate speech." So you know what I call them now? I call them manual transmissions because it's a euphemism. Or specifically, tranny is a a euphemism for manual transmission.
But some of them no longer have sticks.
I know. That's the joke. Imagine having a stick shift car with no stick. Good luck. One of the big questions I have about Marvel cover artist Mark Brooks' new IP RoboChode, a book about a dead man's penis, is, will it be on Kickstarter? Probably. It'll probably be on a Kickstarter campaign, and it'll likely be sold by someone with Khazar Melkers pretending to be a man from New York, I'm sure.
Or who knows? Maybe it's going to have a very feminine soy jack do the promotion. You never know.
Oh, God. Please
Yeah.
don't.
You
I
know
mean, Stu runs with those people, so I wouldn't be surprised if he inserted himself into that nonsense.
he already did with the first RoboChode video. He was the
that's
narrator.
right. That's right, he was the narrator. Oh, sorry, it's been a while since I listened to it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, we need to beat the fucking gayness out of you so you have more memory space.
Yes. The gayness is definitely the problem, not the copious amounts of porn.
Yeah, it's like a virus in your brain. We have to get it out.
Oh, man. Well, you better get the wiffle bat and start taking the foam off them.
I already do it to Quaff. I got a whip on him.
Nice.
Of course, if I do
Oh,
it to
don't-
you, you're just going to be all gay for it. So I have to figure out something new.
You're gonna have to. You can't cut me and you can't whip me. I like both those things, so you better find a better solution. Maybe a taser.
No. I think I found the perfect solution. Do you like sharks?
That sounds painful. I'm in.
Yes. I'm just gonna tie you around on a rope and then slowly deliver you and chum the waters with sharks underneath you. Does that sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Now we have to film it because that would be fun.
Coming from Ironbrick Studios, Sharkagato.
Sharkagato. Oh no. Oh, good lord. That's
You know that's the last thing they have to turn gay is a fucking shark, right?
I mean, give it time. I'm sure they'll make that fucking member of the Suicide Squad gay at some point if they haven't already.
You real isn't Sylvester Stallone the voice of that?
King Shark? I don't know.
I think he is, but you really think he'd be down for that? You mean I gotta talk like a gay shark?
You imagine him fucking trying to pull out the "Hey Mary" sort of voice, like that might not end well.
I think he might kill himself if he tries to.
This fucking aneurysm from attempting to do it doesn't kill him first.
Yeah, apparently word on the street is they're forcing Bruce Willis to do new movies still, and because he has contractual obligations.
Oh god.
You imagine being a deadbeat fucking dude with a brain cell that doesn't work anymore, and you're just like, line. We'll fix it in post-op. Just sit there and smile and look pretty. But anyway, I have nothing else to talk about today. This is kind of a boring day as it is.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a slow day for me too because I had to help mom with stuff, so I know how that goes.
Plus, outside the fucking mosquitoes are terrible.
They're not too bad here today because it's just hot. It's not like humid as well as hot, so the mosquitoes are like, "We're not coming out of the ground today, motherfucker. We don't like that sun."
They've learned to bite through the bed sheets, Einbrick. The bed sheets.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Vermin.
I think they're all dead around here. It's too dry.
Oh yeah, that's fair too. It's we're not dry here. We still get dew in the mornings and whatnot, but it's been pretty consistently hot out today, so they're just like, we're not coming out today. I wish the gays would fucking follow the mosquito rule. It's too hot. We're not coming out today.
You mean breed only in water and then come out to live for about 6 days and go away for the rest of the year?
Yes, pretty much. Just fucking. Oh God. It's funny to say that too because I'm bisexual myself. It's retarded. Like the LGBTQ community are the most insufferable human beings on this planet, and I maintain that Karens exist. So, how does an entire community become so irritating that they are more annoying than coupon Karens?
Simple. You just have to make sure that you get the wiffle stick out and you start beating them like we should have done to you.
Yes, we will. Don't worry. We will over time beat the gay out of me. It will.
Yeah, you can't pray the gay away. You can beat the gay out though.
Bro. Oh god.
So apparently, your boy Zach racked up almost $96,000.
Yes, with the $1 tier.
And then into the campaign.
Yeah, proving conclusively that Ethan was correct. That actually, it proved both of them correct. It proved that Ethan is correct, that people want more Jawbreakers and other such franchises. Was it Iron Sights? More than they want his crappy art books. But it also proved Zach correct in that it proved that he does not need live streams to market now that he's as big as he is. That customers will just show up if he puts out a new book. So both of them were proven correct there.
And I fucking hate this new thing that Indiegogo has started to do. Move your cursor off the page, and it's like, here, let me throw up this thing. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Yep. Also, you're not wrong, Linkovich. He is past 6 figures now. And so he says, I wish you could pay both of them away. Pray both of them away. Yeah. I'd like to be able to pray away the weirdos and the mosquitoes as well.
Shh. See, that's why they're not diving deep into genetic technology still with humans, because once they figure out that it's actually a genetic thing of malnourishment, that they're going to have some trouble.
I gotta watch that movie
6 figures.
Again. Like, legitimately, I gotta watch that movie again. That was funny. I think, what was it called? The Missing Link or something like that? It was a Brendan Fraser movie.
Wait, are you talking about the one where he's the fucking
caveman that they dig up in the backyard? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's not called Missing Link. It's called Encino Man.
Oh, that's it. Fucking Encino Man. That's what it was called. And then they find the girlfriend for him at the end of the movie, which was fucking great.
Yeah, it's got Pauly Shore in it as the fucking weasel. Hey, buddy.
Yep. Let's get the guy that plays Rudy in the movie Rudy as well.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser when he still had hair.
Yeah, Roshi Strider said it too. Encino Man.
Wait a minute.
It's a fantastic movie. As much as I despise that man, Pauly Shore, some of the movies he did were funny as hell. The one he did with Tia Carrere, where he was on jury duty, I still love that movie.
You don't hear much about Pauly Shore anymore, man.
So the CG Tracker website shows that the campaign is ended.
Yeah, Linkovich says Sean Astin. That's his name.
Demand on Indiegogo. What is up with that?
Oh God, Pauly Shore voiced the new Pinocchio. Also, speaking of Pinocchio, that
I don't know what that means, to be honest with you, Lassie.
That new what was it? That dark take on Pinocchio video that you played a couple months ago, Lassie. That was funny. Sean Astin. Oh God, Pauly Shore is still getting work. What was that other really gay movie they did? It was In the Army Now. Is that the one with Pauly Shore and Andy Dick? More $6 comic deal.
We need more Pauly Shore and Andy Dick movies.
Well, it says that it's in demand, and the $1 tier is still available.
Interesting. That's is that for a digital?
Nope. It's just the regular tier.
It's gonna lose a lot of money on that book.
I am guessing it's because Indiegogo has issues with letting you actually close your campaign when you say you want it closed. It takes them sometimes a few days to get around to actually closing it down.
Takes them, upwards of 3 days, I've been told. I've seen the one campaign take something like 78 hours to finally go down. I was told by the creator that was taking the campaign down that it was going down, but they had taken it down, and then it took 78 hours beyond when they requested it to be taken down for it to go down.
34 hours left to back Charlie's London from Walworth to wartime.
Oh, okay. Andy says Zach decided to leave it in demand as long as it sells. Interesting.
Really?
Oh, so Linkovich posted an email thingy that he sent out saying this experiment has been highly successful, and as long as the books to backers ratio remains 2-1, the $1 deal will remain in effect indefinitely. Jawbreakers forever. Indiegogo campaign. Interesting.
Weird. Really weird.
All right. Well, I have to get running, guys. Take it easy. Thank you for having me on. Talk to you guys
Thank
later.
you for being here. Try to have fun.
Yep, later.
Yeah. That's so Jordan. He's run off to cook, shall we say. I'm beginning to understand why there are so many pairs of shoes outside his house. Normal Prime, it does actually sound like Bill Clinton does. Well, he's got a similar voice. That's why he's able to do that.
Does he spend a fortune on sausage casings?
I found that your boy isn't a good of a writer. I wish I could disagree.
I wouldn't
with
know,
you,
but I'm not surprised.
I wish I could disagree with you, John, but I can't. I don't much care for Jawbreakers, to be entirely honest. I agree with Gilbert Deltrez's criticisms of the original Jawbreakers book.
And Helmet never showed up.
No, he's probably busy.
I said earlier that he was going to try to make it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on how long it took him to roll off his recent conquest, right? He does love him fat.
I was going to ask him something that I realized I don't actually know. I've never really, I don't know. It's just a big gap in my knowledge. I have no idea what the geography of Germany is like.
That's a fairly. We could literally just Google map it.
Yeah.
In fairness.
I think in my head I kind of always just picture it as being flat with lots of tiger tanks crawling all over. But I think it has lots of mountains. I don't know.
Pepe Silva said, has the Phantom Menace edition of Stealing Solo been filled yet? I'm only interested because it's the greatest bastardization of parody and crowdfunding. Even the Nazis never dreamed of such evil.
Yeah, I think it has. I think that got fulfilled.
Oh, Andy, as for where you can find my work, I don't have any out right now. The stuff that I'm commissioning artists for isn't generally available publicly because the setting itself is complete from a detailed perspective, but all of the design work still needed to be done because I had a bad habit of relying on unreliable people, and now I've found a couple of artists who are actually reliable, and they're doing the work, and progress is moving forward. Yes, it's just one of those things. I have a habit of taking people at their word when they say they can do a job. I know it's probably strange to people that I'm not cynical. I try not to be, but it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Getting a portrait of Barney. Work that into your book. Oh no. I probably can somehow. Like Andy meant the gross drawings and art that you do at your bakery with your organic dog. Oh no. Well, we don't talk about that. That's what we call a side hustle, sir. You never discuss the side hustle. That's how you get in trouble with the Canadian Revenue Agency. Shouldn't admit that on stream, should I? Oh dear. Oh, good lord.
$10 left for Black Rhapsody Part 1.
What is Black Rhapsody? I've heard that name a couple times this week.
Musical magical girls battle a Lovecraftian pop star and her evil cult for the fate of the world.
That could be fun.
Black and white, manga size, 35 plus page.
Oh, I know how that goes, Andy. Reliable artists and reliable writers. When you're on the other side and you're looking for someone who's reliable, it can be a pain in the ass. I
Gummy
feel
worm.
your pain, Andy. Pay him in gummy worms. It's very hard to find reliable artists, especially comic artists. I struggled for years. One person may be able to deliver in a day, but it's shit. Another would take 6 months for one page, and it's shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny too because there's a bunch of artists in and around Comicsgate who just do good work and they do it pretty quickly. It's quite impressive. Like you do pretty good work, Andy. So does Lackham, which is one of the guys on Wiggles' Battle of the Kangs book. Then there's Felsbug. He does fun shit too. I really like his the goofy strips and stuff he draws. It's great. And I saw some of the work he's doing for Quaff for Shokan Samurai Legends as well, and I really like that stuff. Then there's, obviously Ethan. Ethan's an absolute monster when it comes to art. So is John Malin, both phenomenal artists. Kenneth Rocafort, another extremely talented artist. Another one is Barton Brothers. I can't remember the artist's name. Was it one of the Barton brothers that draws? Oh, I don't know. Then there's that Carlo Rogai, the guy working on Deathborn. He does pretty good stuff too. Then there's the Diaz brothers, who I think they're the Magic Cop guys, right? The Magic Cop. And then there's a bunch of talented artists in it, like in CG. And then there's a bunch of talented artists who are loosely affiliated with CG. Like it's great. Billy Tucci's another one. Dan Frag is a really solid artist as well. I like to give a shout out to like some of the smaller guys too. That like Doodlebags, the guy who did Vestige 2, phenomenal artist. I love his stuff. And then there's the Death guy. Is it Joe Ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Ball's fucking great too. Then there's also God, man, there's so many. There's great artists in the indie scene. Saw an interview with the creator of BR. It seems like a good one. BR? Epi Civilus says Malin is good, but it worries me that he can't draw thighs or knees. Both are somewhat important to the human form unless you make all of your characters paraplegics that ride in wheelchairs like Testify. John Castle says, hey, I gave you the Liam sketch to put in the back of your books. Yes. The Liam behind blue eyes or sad blue eyes or something. I have it here, so I have it sitting on my dresser. 1 second. I can't remember the text he put on it. It says, yes, it is behind blue eyes. The sad Liam behind blue eyes. The sad Liam behind blue eyes. Yeah, man, like there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's nothing wrong with that, Andy. Like nobody's good at everything. Like, and the people that say they are obviously lying. Every human being on the planet has weaknesses. Turn it into an ad for YouTube channels. Oh no! Wouldn't that be funny if Liam got ads on one of his videos and it was this goofy fucking commercial that involved his likeness using the oh god. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, exactly. A lot of really fantastic artists in and around. Like, I can't think of the guy's name, but the dude that does the art for the Magna comics, like Magna, the Last Pantheon, that dude does pretty good art too. Or is it chick? I don't know. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. And there's, oh man, like it's just so many. It's unreal, man. As for like looking for writers and whatnot, Andy, there's a few who there's a few you can rely on in CG, in my opinion. Like Von Klaus, I think is his name. That he's on Twitter, Vonster. He's the guy responsible for Monster MD, and I think the new one is Terror in the Trenches. I really enjoyed Monster MD. I wasn't super down with the montage segment in the book. I would have been much happier if the book had a tighter timeline, and we just got to see more of the relationship between Dr. Black and the Revenant. I can't remember the Revenant's name at the moment. And then a second book could have finished it off later, kind of thing. But I think the montage was a fine way to tell the story all the same. I just would have preferred a sort of yeah. I feel like you dropped at the CG circus during the actual death. Yeah, Andy vanished for a little while for a while there, and I was like, man, where did Andy go? And he stopped showing up in chats and shit. Yeah, exactly, Andy. Know your limits, but don't be afraid to try things anyway. Exactly, because you never know if you can do something or not without trying it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Found something for you guys.
You want to copy and
Yes.
paste that for me?
I shall post it in private chat for you once. Uno momento, por favor. Por favor. There we go. Zachi blows. Pepe Silva says, what is Wheeled? Hated by millions. Maggot and dead all over. Stephen Hawking. You thought I was going to cite testify, didn't you? I mean, I never, like, just, no. I didn't think that was going to Stephen Hawking, so it's funny that it did. That's the same line they use for the first customers at sex shops. Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You never know what you're into until you try it. That sounds like how we end up with more Preston Poulters, just saying. Is that what happened to Preston? Did he go to the sex shop with Aubie Ann, and then suddenly it was Peggy Poulter? Nice. See, look at that. And he says, I kind of did. I was working on my projects. I have about 6 drawn out. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Preston is promoting something on Kickstarter. Apparently, some woman got hired back in like the 80s or something to do a Dungeons and Dragons supplement or some shit. And she got quote unquote canceled because she was apparently a pervert and stuck all kinds of BDSM shit in it. And he, of course, believes this is a great injustice.
He would, because he's a complete degenerate and thinks BDSM belongs in everything.
Yeah. So,
I mean, he's basically a more tame John Goldman or Jack.
He's like, oh, it's a feminist power fantasy, RPG thing or whatever. And it's like, dude, if it's like if he just tried to sell it as an RPG supplement, then I think he would have got more people interested.
Yeah.
But instead, he plays up the whole sex angle, and it's like, yeah, dude, you just,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even D&D had the what was it? The Book of Carnal Knowledge, which was a fan product, but it still existed.
Well, hey there. Welcome back to another episode of How to Paint Like a Feminist. If this is your first time joining us, we cordially like to invite you to pull up a chair, and while you're at it this time, bring your kids along before those job looking monstrosities on the left trying to abort those little bastards too. So before we get started, we want to first make sure that we coat our canvas with a nice thick coat of liquid white privilege, because apparently that's still needed this day and age. Because after all, when you have people out there saying that by virtue of your skin you're getting ahead of the game, that means you have privilege. That's why most minorities have a better chance of getting into college and certain select jobs than white people.
Hello, Mr.
Guess you
Castle.
could call that minority privilege.
I come at the right time.
So let's go ahead and run our colors across the bottom of the screen. We're going to go with abortion red, BLM black, SCOTUS aqua green, and cowardly Republican yellow. Oh yeah, we're going every direction on this one. Call me John by Ross. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take our abortion red, and we're going to put a nice
That lip
coat
lick
of
is
this
creepy as fuck.
all over the canvas.
That's why he did it
Just
with the
smear
dead
that
eye.
abortion red blood all around here, and of course, as you know, liberals are sky screaming, and the pronoun people are melting down out there. But I kind of take a different turn than most Republicans do when it comes to abortions. I believe we should legalize them for the left and make them illegal for the right, because in a sense, eventually, the way the trans community is growing and people are turning gay left and right, the left is just going to breed itself out and the right will just overpopulate, and before we know, this liberal problem fixes itself. What's the big issue? If they want to murder each other, let them. They already do in big blue cities. Oh, that's the black people.
I mean, I think Peggy's been quiet.
See, I just
because
deflected. You don't know what to be mad about now, do you?
I don't think he
Hang
likes
tight,
being
we got a lot
mocked.
more coming for you.
He seems like a bit of a narcissist, and I don't
So
think he
left
likes
is melting
being
down
mocked
right now
endlessly.
because essentially they're thinking that all their abortions and baby murdering is going to be outlawed, and that's actually not the case. What happened was the SCOTUS said, hey, it's up to the states. And you know how they did this? Through a democratic process. But of course, just like the filibuster, just like the Electoral College, just like everything else, when it goes contrary to what the left wants, they want to either ban it or impeach it. It's not working out so well for you right now. And the most beautiful part about this whole entire thing is this happened with a primarily left-leaning government. Even Helen Keller couldn't have seen that one coming. I certainly didn't. Look, I just have to be honest with you guys just real quick. Why is it always the fat, hideous ones with the blue hair and the tackle boxes and the face full of metal? Why are they screaming the most about abortions? You're the less likely to have to worry about any man wanting to put his meat popsicle inside of you and squirting his baby gravy in there. I mean, let's just be realistic about this. You are pretty much the most unfuckable people on the planet. It just makes sense to me. Whatever. You just gotta absolutely love the tolerant left that when the SCOTUS comes
His
out,
stuff
with a
usually
ruling,
is
judges like Clarence Thomas come
it's,
out in favor of
he's
repealing it
pretty
and send it
great.
back down to the states. I haven't heard or seen so many N-bombs dropped since I listened to a Snoop Dogg song. And you got people like Keith Olbermann out there screaming and insulting every judge that voted in favor of it, except for Amy Coney Barrett. who he then said she's no better than a paralegal. Misogynistic much? So you can put all the male judges together, and then you really focus on belittling the female judge. Once again, just like with Clarence Thomas, when you start calling him M-words on Twitter, your tolerance really shows through to what your party is truly about. I mean, it's been said multiple times, but I feel it does need to be repeated. We haven't seen Democrats this mad since we took away their slaves. Oh, that's gotta sting. Not as much as abortion, though. It's still murder. I always find it funny how liberals' counter-arguments are Republicans only care about children until they're born, so not really pro-life, they're just pro-birth. Well, then explain to me why is it that you leftist zealots are out there firebombing pro-life clinics that actually help women and expecting mothers to take care and foster and nurture those children, which donations are coming from those communities. So once again, your argument is invalid. You're just looking for more reasons to justify using a coat hanger on yourself. And, you know, you have all these leftists out there talking about like, hey, we got abortion rights taken away for us before we even got any gun control. Well, you know, I could be wrong on this one, but can anybody show me where in the Constitution it says anything about murdering a child? Because they did have abortions back then, but it wasn't framed in the Constitution. Weird. And speaking of the Constitution and national sovereignty, we have a federal government that isn't even doing their job, and we just had a truckload of illegal immigrants, like 42 or 45, somewhere around that number, found dead on the side of a road in an abandoned rig. What about that? So if it's truly about human lives mattering, well then you screamed for all kinds of justice and gun control with the Uvalde shooting. Well, where's your screams of outrage right now with all these people that were basically suffocated to death? All these illegal immigrants. Oh, you don't, that's right, you don't care when it's minorities, it's only when it's voting season. Well, midterms are coming up. I mean, it's getting close. Oh, that's right, I forgot. The majority of the children in Uvalde were minority children. That's why you care so much. Forgot about that. But hey, you're pro-choice, so I don't understand why child death bothers you so much. You're already committing it. It's just at a different stage in its life. Oh, because that's right, it is life. Weird again. And you got Green Day singer Billy Joe, whatever his name is, out there screaming about how he's going to renounce his U.S. citizenship as if that's going to do anything to us. And yet, you've got these migrants that are dying trying to get in. You want to talk about the greatest example of privilege and freedom in this country is when you have stuck-up, spoiled celebrities like that saying how bad they think they've got it here. Meanwhile, people are dying, literally, to get into this country. We are a country of spoiled, entitled brats that truly, in some circumstances, do need their freedom stripped away because you've gotten too complacent and compliant and you're okay with it. So you certainly just absolutely have to love the fact that for the last 2 years of the whole Fauci-ouchie time, you had all these progressives on the left screaming that in many cases we should be forced to the gurney and strapped down and injected with the Fauci-ouchie, which, by the way, there's more athletes dropping dead right now and a lot of young people, but the news isn't reporting too heavily on that, so we're not going to watch that. But in the meantime, the very same people that were screaming for all this stuff, saying, force the vaccine, fire them, ruin their lives, make it to where parents can't put food on the table for their children. Well, now when it comes to abortion, suddenly the my body, my choice comes back into play. That's funny. The one thing I will give you leftists, you are consistently inconsistent in your hypocrisy. I will give you that. You just can't make up your minds. Probably why you want to get abortions in the first place. You know, another thing I don't really understand about Pride Month, and thank
Roe
God
and
this
Wade
crap's almost
versus
over, because
Testify.
you know, veterans and people, to include gay people that have died for this country, they only get one day. Yet for some reason, the alphabet mafia, well, they get an entire month. Explain that one to me. It doesn't make any sense. But at the same token, what does being homosexual have to do with walking up and down a street in one of your pride parades, butt naked in front of children for them to see you? That's just called being immoral. And that knows no sexuality. That's just you as a disgusting human being. So by all means, you types of people out there, keep this up, and you're going to start seeing the LGB making more and more enemies, and justifiably so. Fix your community and get rid of those immoral dogs. They're disgusting.
Yeah.
So next we're going to go ahead and get our cowardly Republican yellow. And
What is the West
you got
Virginia
Mitch
versus
McConnell out
EPA
there,
decision?
tapping John Cornyn and the rest of them to go out there and
I'm not
work with
familiar with
Republicans
that
on getting more gun control across this country because apparently we have so much gun violence. No, that's actually not true. We have over 360 million guns in this country. If we had a gun violence problem, it would clearly be showing in the stats. But which weapon system is actually used the most? And the majority of these school shootings, it's not the
Pistols.
AR-15. It's
It's literally
handguns.
pistols.
But we're not going after that, because the social media and the MSM and the government want to go after the AR-15. Why is that? Because the AR-15 poses the biggest threat to a tyrannical government. It's not handguns. It's something that you can get out there with some reach and accuracy. A .223 round isn't going to do a lot of damage, but it will connect with you when it comes to accuracy. A handgun at point blank is way more damaging. But again, ignore the statistics and let's go with the selective outrage that the MSM and social media tell you to be angry about. It's not about the actual casualty numbers. It's about what can they slowly strip away from you that could pose the biggest threat should the government ever turn tyrannical, and this right here proves it. And the very same people that are out there making these open threats against the SCOTUS and these Republican senators and congressmen and women and stuff like that. Well, what you should do is go on Twitter and you find these people and you report them to the local authorities. That way the red flag laws kick in and they can't have access to a firearm. Because why? Because they're a threat to somebody else. But you know that's not going to happen because the DOJ and the FBI are weaponized by the left. They're not actually constitutional-based organizations. We don't even need them. We shouldn't have them. This country got along very well without them, but instead we're going to use them to investigate the Trump administration, domestic terrorists that are actually parents at school boards saying they don't want CRT in the schools, and that's the way this country has gone. Now maybe some of you on the right are starting to understand why those of us that are constitutionalists are saying disband these three-letter agencies. We don't need them. All right, next we're going to throw in a little bit of this BLM Black, and before we get there, we haven't really heard a peep out of those organizations, have we? They've kind of went a little silent. Oh, that's right. The Pride Alphabet mob came and took over. Black people got marginalized once again when the freaking Rainbow Mafia came in and said, we're here, we're queer, you guys can go wait over there.
Was never designated as a pollutant, and calling it such
The thing I never
require
understood
another
is
act of Congress.
why is it that it seems like the government at every opportunity wants
there's a
to,
little more
when it
context.
comes to guns, put people on a registration list, whether it be background checks or firearm purchases. It's like every single opportunity they get, they just want to put people on lists. Why? I don't know why.
Yes.
Oh, look, there's a fly over there. Do you see it? It's right there. Weird. It's a big fly. So next we're going to take this little BLM Black and we're going to make a nice clean line right down the middle between the red and the yellow. We're going to draw a nice even line. It's almost like putting a line in the sand. Sort of like that singer Pink who comes out and says that if you're pro-life, you should just stop listening to her music. Pink. I hate to tell you this. You haven't been relevant since like the early 2000s. The only people that listen to your music are pregnant teenage trailer trash types. Sorry to break that to you, but it's the truth. Yeah. So now that we're all finished with the BLM Black, we're done with this beautiful piece of artwork. I bet you're asking yourself, hey, John Ross, what about the SCOTUS Aquamarine
John Ross,
Green?
I believe,
Well,
is the
we
bit.
don't need that according to the left. So
Simile
just go
Oakley.
ahead and take that, throw it away. Because after all, when we have a checks and balances system and you remove one of the three branches, well, now you don't have checks and balances anymore. You're gonna have anarchy, which the left, you better be careful. That's not what you want. Because it's not you that has all the guns. You have the pink hats and dildos. Hate to break it to you, but I really don't. Good luck. All right, so let's go ahead and take some of our pocketed white privilege. Here we go. Oh, looky there. She's back at it again. Got old Mr. Ed. Oh, I misgendered her. Sorry. Mrs. Ed Horseface. Sitting there screaming that we should overturn the Roe v. Wade by impeaching the Supreme Court justices that voted in favor of it. Well, isn't that the very definition of what democracy is supposed to be for? But if you leftists don't get your way, well then
The weird
you want to
moniker
force
he
the
uses
system.
is John Ross,
You're the
I
exact
believe.
same reason her and her ilk, like James Brown or Maxine Waters and Beetlejuice, Lori Lightfoot, are the exact same reasons why we have the Second Amendment. Because if you got your way, this would be a fascist government and a tyrannical government. Thank God you don't. If you enjoy this episode, tap the little share button down below. You can purchase this painting at allamericansavageshow.com and make sure to check out our podcast, All American Savage Show. Really appreciate your love and support. Leave some comments down below. I'm probably still not going to read them, but hey, it helps the algorithm. Or drop some eggplant energy. You know what I'm talking about.
Up some eggplant energy. Basically a sexually harass me daddy joke. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, that guy's name is John Burke, but because he's doing Bob Ross parody, he goes by John Ross.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the newest one from him. I seen that, and I'm like, ooh, this would be a good show. A good
That's
show.
funny. I like his stuff. He's pretty He's pretty entertaining. You amazed at Cider's ability to survive? Dude has died nearly 5 times. I mean, Cider is a tenacious little fella. Like, good on him for not kicking it when many would simply give up and give in.
Yes, Cider's a tough little bastard. I like Cider. He's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, getting rid of all the 3-letter agencies would be a good thing because then Congress would actually have to
Do their fucking job.
Well, they'd have to do what they're supposed to do and pass all the laws instead of having regulations, which is just a law by another name. But that's why they did that buck passing a long time ago, is because they wanted nameless bureaucrats who can't be held accountable to do all the dirty work. Because if Congress actually votes and passes laws, then the voters can hold them accountable.
Cider is so far up to 13 backers on his relaunch of the Colossus.
Now, did he shorten his story?
Yes, through necessity, essentially. He wanted to do a larger book, but as a first-time creator, like it proved just untenable to do a larger book. So he's doing it in 24-page increments, essentially.
Okay, so he's basically going to do like a serialized version then.
Sort of, yes.
What was that? I got a Kickstarter book from a friend of mine. And it's called Awful Thoughts. It's basically like a horror anthology.
Yes.
It's actually not half bad. You can buy it on eBay right now for like, I think, $10.
22, I found a bunch of like just random projects while I was backing stuff on Kickstarter. I was like, oh, hello. This is some cool shit.
Where is Cider relaunched? Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
Kickstarter. Give me 1 second. I'll get you the campaign.
Yeah, I just got an update on a campaign I backed on Kickstarter saying that they accidentally priced an add-on tier at $1 instead of $30. For those of you who back the $1 tier, we won't be fulfilling the rewards. They're lucky that it's Kickstarter and not standard retail, because if you advertise something at a certain price and people buy it, you gotta fucking sell it to them at that advertised price. Okay, you do know that I can't. That I can't get it from there, right?
Oh no, I think he was just posting the link.
No,
for someone
I just posted it so people can click it, essentially. There's the link for you personally.
But yeah, I'm Brick. If you or in the lawsuit want a copy of this Awful Thoughts, I can send y'all both a copy through my friend. It's actually not, like I said, it's not half bad, and the paper quality is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's your boy. A lot of people like your boy, and I don't begrudge them that. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with them liking him. So they'll support him no matter what he does. So he'll, generally speaking, do fairly well. And that's probably why Mags, I Have a Fake Vagina Visaggio, and all these other weirdos dislike him so much.
You know what we really need today? A hero like Pinochet.
Yes.
That fucking song got stuck in my head. Now anytime I fucking just get bored, it pops up. Thank you, Awasi.
Well, it's a good song, so yeah.
I didn't say it wasn't a good song. I'm just saying it's catchy as hell. But now if I'm like doing something, that song will just pop up out of fucking nowhere. It's like, fucking great. I gotta look it up on YouTube now.
58 days to go
To what?
on the Colossals.
Oh.
So I guess he launched it, 2 days ago? The 60-day thing? Einbrecht?
Sorry, what was that?
It says 58 days to go on Cider's campaign. So he launched it 2 days ago with 60 days. Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I found out what we're really having for dinner tonight.
Even if he goes commie. I mean,
what are we talking about? Who? What?
I think he's talking about your boy. There's a possibility that people might turn on him if he goes full commie, but it's hard to say. People don't tend to want to believe bad things about people they like, so I don't know.
Wait, your boy Zach's going commie?
No, not necessarily. I do find him to be a little bit of a lefty weirdo, but I don't think he's a commie.
Yeah, Bert, how does 4 cheese tortellini sound?
What cheeses? Or which cheeses?
I like a lot of cheese, so
I have no I don't remember. It's somewhere on the packaging. And I don't know where the packaging went.
Cider will definitely live long enough to shifter. Yeah, no, I don't think your boy's a commie. He's just a weirdo lefty, that's all.
I thought your boy Zach was a right wing.
No, not even slightly. He could claim to be like someone with a small amount of right-leaning views, I would imagine, but he's in many of the ways that matter from what I've seen of his videos, he speaks like a lefty, so I'm of the habit of I tend to not trust what a person says. I tend to just look at their behavior.
No respectable man of the right would have so many bastards.
Yep. I can't disagree with that statement.
Well, it was Thailand. It was 10 years ago. Don't judge me.
It was Thailand. It was not my fault. I irrevocably changed the genetic lineage of that entire fucking island.
Yeah, well, it's like when I got there, they were the Virgin Islands. When I left, they were just called the islands. It's like, let me tell the story how it made your mom. About $10 and a ping pong ball later.
Oh dear. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, they just legalized marijuana in Thailand, I think.
Is anybody going to notice a difference? Authorities investigating after explosion destroyed the Georgia Guidestones. Georgia Bureau of Investigation said unknown individuals detonated an explosive device around 4 a.m. Wednesday. Upper County Sheriff's Office responded. Blah 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 blah. So, crews level the rest of the Georgia Guidestones after damage from the explosion. Cool. So the explosion was essentially successful. They got rid of them.
Well, it took out one. Like it completely blew up one.
What are they exactly? I don't know. I like the fact that they were one of them was blown up is the first I've heard about these things.
Well, what it is like they were put up in the like 1980 or whatever. Nobody knows who put them up, but they're essentially the Ten Commandments for a globalist world order.
Oh, so
So say
absolutely.
we'll say like the entire world goes into nuclear war, and the people that survive, it's basically the rules for that.
Yeah.
Did anybody catch the other day that on CNN one of Biden's advisors came out saying the liberal world order?
Oh God.
Yes. Yes.
See, this is why I avoid the news because of shit like that.
I'm sorry that your country's leader is a World Economic Forum lackey.
I don't know that person.
As your boy be
So I
Captain
couldn't say.
Coin's dad and bastards. I don't know that name either.
But
I just got confirmation Liam started an OnlyFans.
Ugh.
The only thing on there is dead puppy videos.
Yes, that
sounds about right.
The only paywall people won't buy to prove that it's happening.
Oh God, I still think it fucking Delta Omega. Was it Delta Omega or was it someone else in chat? I can't remember. The other day about getting Jesse to think that everybody in our chat was saying that she's hot. God, that made me laugh. Holy shit. Oh, well done.
I still feel sorry for Jeff Hicks for having to deal with that pasty faced bitch.
I mean, she's the personification of the white Karen, right?
I thought you were gonna say if a bottle of glue were a person.
If a bottle of glue were a person. A captain of Napoleon's Grenadiers. His dad at 30. Ah,
wow.
Okay.
Damn Chinese don't know how to drive with a dam. I'm still playing this stupid game and I just got hit by a damn car while running up a flight of stairs.
Her fascist sippers, yes. That's the funniest outcome. If she thinks a bunch of like people she legitimately thinks are fascist / Nazis are just like simping for her. Has Liam got his computer gear back from the pawn shop yet? We don't know. Oh no. Jeff only stays because he can blow Jesse's strap on. Who are you fighting this time, Mr. Castle?
Do what?
Who are you fighting this time?
Still the Chinese.
I see.
Podcaster Joe Rogan has said he will never host Threat to Democracy Donald Trump on his podcast, despite having been asked multiple times. During a Monday airing of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan vehemently shut down the possibility of interviewing the 45th President of the United States. I am not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form, Rogan 54 said. I have had the opportunity to have him on my show more than once, and I have said no every time. The controversial podcaster weighed in on
But
the
he'll have
devastating
Alex Jones on.
polarized
Argue.
Well, Alex
political
Jones is his
spectrum.
friend.
Like, that's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, the left argues that Alex Jones is more dangerous than Trump is. So if he's going to buy into the narrative that Trump is dangerous, then shouldn't he be fucking kicking his friend Alex Jones out of his company? Like, this is... I don't know. I'm not surprised. Rogan's a fucking lefty. I don't respect lefties. I apologize to any lefties in our audience, but it just is what it is.
The
It's reality.
controversial podcaster weighed in on the devastatingly polarized political spectrum in America and said he was not interested in giving Trump a platform because the former president is an existential threat to democracy itself.
But it's not a democracy. It's a fucking constitutional republic. Why is with these morons and not understanding what the... I don't even live in your country and I know more about it than these retards do.
Non-stop propaganda for their entire lives.
Yeah, but I was propagandized against America too. With the same propaganda. Why didn't it work on me? I'm a retard.
I don't know.
Like, fuck, I'm dumb as a fence post, my dude.
Wait, what? I blacked out for like a second.
More retarded than I am?
Well, he is left-leaning.
Fair. Then Liam's new high-res cam went missing, as well as his new laptop. Oh, God. Of course.
Liam used it in his OnlyFans, and the camera got stuck in his butt, and now he's having to have transition surgery just because he fucked it up. That didn't make any sense.
Says Rogan is a Bernie bro. That's all you need to know. That is indeed all I need to know. Also, Shifter says last month the Australian government cut the $700 a month flood payments. And then Liam's new high-res cam went missing as his laptop. Yeah, he probably took out a payment plan on those. Joe wishes he was Jones, though. He wants to chip out. Yeah, probably. Dude, man, controversial Eagles not dyed in the wool. Total leftist. Yeah, I wish you were wrong, but you're not. You're not wrong. Yep. Liam pawned his stuff. He's been begging every stream for money. Yeah, we saw that. So, you guys, please, buy Kakashi. I definitely don't need the Murder Dolls campaign to fund the printing and shipping of Wonder Island because I did the stupid thing and wasted more money. Like, it just...
I got $10 saying that Liam spent $1,000 on Belle Delphine bathwater.
Oh, I would... Liam's the kind of dude that he would spend, like, the $3K to fuck a woman like that. Like, I'm just saying.
Well, I was watching that It's a Gundam guy, and he was talking about when she decided to make a porn or whatever, and he was like, I watched the porn, she's not even good.
No, dude, I don't understand the interest in her. She's not that attractive. The only time she fell onto my radar is when she did the fake porn shit, and I was dying laughing at all her simps freaking out that it wasn't real. He pulled a Smiller. Yes, it would appear so. Nasser Nobody is looking for book reviewers for his novel. Plans to review bomb early. I'm not surprised. It's the way to game the algorithm on Google reviews. I could make her good, says Shifter.
Good luck with that.
Oh, the sound effects in that game are terrible. I love it. Might need to play it.
Well, also I also got a shitty ass mic, but I'm saying like 7 feet from it.
Fair.
It actually has really good quality, but like I said, you're just hearing like probably like loose background noise because that's a shotgun I'm firing. So I don't know how you're hearing it, but this thing's basically Vin Diesel the video game.
Nice.
Actually, no, that was a game called Wheelman, and I think I still have that game for PlayStation 3.
I don't
Like
know who Brittany Griner is. I know
Neither
the
do I.
name, but I don't know anything about the person. Who is that, Mr. Tuner? Can I have volunteers for Nasser's Deadly Review Army? It could be funny. Just sitting here waiting for 2 sticks of Micron DDR4 to be delivered. Oh man, I gotta replace my RAM. I'm using DDR3 at the moment, and it's starting to fall behind.
Isn't there like a big computer chip shortage right now?
Corsair's RAM is owned by Micron. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Micron produced Corsair's RAM. That makes sense because usually large brands like Corsair and whatnot don't tend to manufacture their own shit because it's a lot easier to buy someone else's shit and then sell it at a markup with your logo on it.
Yeah, I'm Breck. You play video games. Have you played the new? Have you played the Mafia remaster?
No, but I've been told it's not great. Like it's
Well, from what I've seen, it's a remake of the first one, but 2 and 3 are I guess remasters.
DDR3 on sale right now. Nice fast sets too. That's fair enough. Doesn't Wayland Yutani own Micron? They make xenomorphs, right? Yes. Yes, they do. Michael Kritzer, Professor Geek is on vocal. It would be funny to review his stories with jokes. I mean, that could, yeah. Brittany Griner is a WNBA player that's been detained and okay.
Oh.
That's the weirdo who keeps whining at Biden to set her free.
I've seen something funny where it said, well, it was you bitched and complained about being in America, but now you're sitting in a Russian prison. Haha.
Yeah. You would,
Or I think it's Chinese prison, some shit. Was it Russian?
Need a top tier board to run at full speed. I'm not surprised. I've got an older motherboard. I need to replace it.
How hard is it to build your own PC?
Extremely easy. If the part does not fit there, it does not go there. Like it's literally that simple.
Well, I know absolutely nothing about making my own computer.
Like if you
like
get
somebody
on
was
if you get on video, I can actually walk you through installing it yourself. But make sure if you're going to build it yourself, you need to buy what is it called?
See, you're making a mistake right now in assuming that I have money.
Fair.
I am saving up to get an external hard drive for
there's a
a
chemical
PS4.
compound that you have to put on your processor. I can't remember what it's called though.
Answer the phone. I hate that iPhone fucking jingle.
Yeah, every time my mom's phone does that shit, I just go, "Hey, answer it," and she goes, "What do you mean answer it?" Because she's deaf in one ear. Thermal paste. Thank you. Everybody loves Cthulhu. I couldn't remember, and also marsupial.
Did you see that somebody made their own Bitcoin mining farm using like multiple PlayStations and Xboxes for the CPU? Because of the power of them is like, I guess so.
Cthulhu says Einbrecht jizz. I mean, I don't think that would work well. Lassie is more like David the android. He would definitely backstab his creator. Oh, that's fighting words, Lassie.
I thought it said stab his creator. I was like, no, that's more of Einbrecht. He just seems like he would stab something just for the hell of it. Did everybody die?
Yeah, no, that. Oh, sorry, I was just reading chat. I think Lassie might have been commandeered, or his microphone is muted because coughing. Shifter says they're running a mini Lenovo PC. Only runs the gaming rig for gaming because of power draw. Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you see that California is trying to get rid of like PC gaming?
Yep, because of CO2 emissions, essentially.
Well, it was for energy consumption.
Yeah.
I've been backstabbed by my parents far more than I've ever backstabbed them. Just saying.
Don't know how to link Michael Kritzer's photo. Should be easy enough to find for us.
I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean.
Step has always been, how much do you want to spend on a video card? Yeah, pretty much, Shifter, these days. That's the most GPU and CPU are the things you spend the most money on in regards to building computer these days. It's insane. Lenovo P93 i5 or i7, can't remember. Yeah, I've gotten I think I've got a first generation i7 in my current computer, which I do need to replace it. Les is fighting off the aliens in his kitchen right now.
Have significant health problems, and yet it doesn't stop people apparently volunteering me for shit that I'm not really in a position to do anything about.
What are they trying to volunteer you for?
Oh, give people rides to, other cities hours away.
Oh, wonderful. It can even edit video. Oh, that's useful. Guys, just use the integrated GFX Eco Gaming feature. Oh, God, please no. I know you're joking there, but oh, God, please no. I don't want to do that shit. I'm sorry, I like my 60 or higher frames per second when I'm playing a video game.
This game is showing me how to defeat Xi Jinping.
Shoot him in the head. And stream snipe live to YouTube. Sounds useful, Shifter. All right. Well, gentlemen, I have to go cook my hamburger because I got to get my burritos ready, and then I guess we're gonna do a comic book stream on my channel.
We can if you want. I was just saying, get it ready if you want to.
No, fuck, I'm down, man. I haven't talked comic books in a long ass fucking time.
Well, good. Then we'll be entertained.
Yes.
What books do we want to talk about?
Man, fucking anything and everything, I'm down. Like, even if it's something I've never heard of, because learning about Delta Omega pointed me towards some 2000 AD stuff I'd never heard of before the other night, and I'm gonna acquire trades of those if they exist and read them.
The stuff from 2000, the only stuff I know that's been collected from 2000 AD is the Judge Dredd case file stuff.
Ironberg, remember to slide all your graphic settings to the left to save on electricity too. Oh my god, again, I know you're joking, but please no. I don't wanna. 250 and low power draw. Oh, it's not bad. Xi Jinping head is full of fluff. You'll only make him angry.
I think he misses Christopher Robin.
Yes. Also,
that's why he's so angry.
You're welcome to join us as well, Alassi, if you're bored and want to talk comic books. But for now, I must depart. I need to go cook hamburger because my burritos will not make themselves.
Sure they will. Sadly. Just yell mom.
No, I would never let my mother cook my burritos.
She might poison it.
My mom's not good at cooking meat. Let's just Well, it just is what it is. She eats like pasta and vegetables. She's a weirdo. I don't like meat.
Oh dear.
Doesn't like things with taste. Good lord.
Okay, well,
Give me 1 second. I'll plug it in chat.
Yeah, give me like an hour or two, or let me know whenever you're ready. Because as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna throw my phone on the charger. That way, it's fully charged by the time you boot everything up,
Yep.
or at least damn near fully charged.
Yeah. We'll go live in probably hour and a half, 2 hours, just so people have time to do other things.
All right.
There is the link to the channel. And we'll just have a fucking gay little round table discussion about like comic books we like and shit like that.
Well, hell,
why the hell not?
Well, hell, what you could do is link this channel to your channel and basically have it be the pop culture side of everything. Like this is the EFAP side. Have the other side be the current pop culture side.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, Lassie likes that stuff too, though, so not necessarily have to be the case.
Well, well, hell, you could. Well, like I said, connect this one, connect Prime. Basically, make it like your own like little channel network.
Yeah, Prime likes the gay nerd shit too. So if he's around, we should pull him in. There's a book that'll get you managed. The places and people. Einbrecht, don't let Justin Trudeau get you. Castle, don't fight with your girl. Alassie, just don't testify. Bye.
Don't tell me what to do with her. She's currently tied up in the closet with duct tape on her mouth. Just
let her out when she needs. Let her out when she needs to eat or vacate her bowels / bladder.
There's a cat box in there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
She has.
All right, gentlemen. I shall talk to you in a bit.
Alassie, how are you feeling?
Need to bitch at people.
What?
I need to bitch at people for volunteering me for shit that I'm not really able to do. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you next time.